I'd just like to share a couple words. I just want to let you know. Perhaps you might not have been aware, but eternal greatness exists only within myself. And I wanted you to be aware that you should embrace sorrow in a world without time.
I heard that line recently. What are you referring to?
Yeah, you heard it in Italian.
Ah, there it is.
Traitor's Requiem, bitch.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Oh my god, I fucked it up anyways. To something along those lines.
That new JoJo intro is pretty good. If you're not caught up to
Hotness.
JoJo, catch up to JoJo.
Hotness.
Hey, also, speaking of catching up, if you're not caught up to Attack on Titan and you give a shit at all,
Sing a song of sorrow.
you
in a world
really
without
need to
time.
catch up
Yeah.
because now that the gates are open, people don't give a shit anymore.
Wow, you sidestepped JoJo really hard. And that's okay
That's okay.
because the
This
basement
week,
is worth it.
I actually do
is
want to talk
worth
about
it,
JoJo.
is so worth it.
Hey.
And we're going to have to talk about Attack on Titan at the end of things.
We're going to talk about Attack on Titan at
We'll
the end
go
of the
right
podcast.
to- yeah.
I just want to say, I thought it was really great when they got into the basement and they looked on the wall and there was a big mural for Halo Infinite. So I thought of that stupid joke.
And
like,
then Master Chief was in the basement.
yeah, he
all
was in there.
along.
He was in there.
woke
He's
up,
like, let's take it to these Titans.
finish the fight.
Finish the fight. So I was thinking about that and how stupid that joke is. And then a spark blew off in my mind to go, is there any game that like you played it or any show and then you get to like the thing and it's like a sponsored ad? It's
thing,
like
where the thing is sponsored?
you know, like the fucking thing. And
So like basically what you're actually saying is they get to the basement and there's a screen on a TV
and it's
and
like
then that thing when you're connected to the internet loads in
a John Deere tractor.
yeah it loads in whatever at the time
Yeah.
is the paid sponsor and you just
So-
get that shot of everyone staring at it
And I
with
thought
shock.
about it, and I could think of one. There is a game in which you play the game and it looks normal, and then you get to the MacGuffin or whatever, the magic item, and it is a fucking ad. And that is a PS2, I think GameCube RPG called Darkened Sky. I don't know if you've ever seen this. The Sky
No.
is spelled S-K-Y-E. It appears to be a generic fantasy RPG with a main character called Sky, just a lady. And then you find out that you need these fucking power crystals or whatever. And they're fucking Skittles. They're literally Skittles, and they're named Skittles.
hard
And
and this is like the whole plot revolves around
yeah, it's about Skittles. The candy.
Wait, was this a game that was sponsored by Skittles?
It was a game made by Skittles.
Well, then there you go. Yeah. Well, that makes sense then. That's like if you're playing Sneak King and then you're like, what's up with the king?
but like, look at this box art. Do you see fucking Skittles on that shit?
yeah, I think that's the point. I think they wanted to get you.
Haha, idiot. It was Skittles all along.
I think they wanted to get you because they realized back when they made McKids
Yeah.
that it was a little too obvious.
Like,
A little too on the nose.
so all I can think of is that, Aaron, you have to get into the basement, and he opens the basement, and it's a garage to his new Ford Subaru!
Yeah. See, now here's...
Which, I think they had a...
Well, here's the other question. What about when, like, it's a product that is, like... what if it's a product that could be stretched to be relevant? So I think of two things. I think of like when they find the Red Bull cans at the beginning of Snakes on a Plane, and then fucking Sam Jackson slaps the bag down with the can as evidence, and it zooms in, or when it zooms out and you see them surrounding the television.
I think in the finale of part 4 of JoJo, when every shot that has Rohan in it, he's standing with this enormous Pepsi
Sure.
billboard in the
Yes,
background.
yeah.
And I'm like, and it's a time thing, so they keep showing the same shot. I'm like, it's especially weird because anime always has Pepsi or Somi or whatever. It's like, now look at that big fat fucking
Coca.
Pepsi logo.
Yeah. But then there's other things where So Zardoz, for example.
Zardoz, yes.
Zardoz.
Yes.
You know about that.
I know about Zardoz.
Right. So like what if it's used in that kind of context where like the product is a part of what explains the plot in a way
Wait,
that...
I don't know about the Zardoz product line.
Well, it's not so much a product line as much as it is the truth.
Okay, yeah.
Right? The truth of Zardoz. So when you find out the truth of Zardoz, there's a thing there.
And you turn into a skeleton.
So what if in a excuse me. What if in a similar way?
I might have one that's more on the nose with that. Have you seen Evolution with David Duchovny? It's a monster movie with aliens.
I know the movie, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, do you want to have a fucking big old spoiler of what the end of that movie is? They discovered that since we're carbon-based, arsenic is poison to us, and these things are silicon-based, and then they move the periodic table over. Oh, this weird chemical's in it. Well, that's harmless to us. What's it in? Head and Shoulders. We gotta get as much Head and Shoulders as possible and blast these aliens with it so that they all die. And the finale of the movie is using Head and Shoulders to fight aliens. That's right.
Jesus Christ.
Head and Shoulders. Good for dandruff, but also good for killing aliens.
That's so specific. Like, it's such a pinpointed thing as opposed to shampoo in general.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they always say... We need to get some more Head and Shoulders.
At that point, you have to assume they're just paying for half the movie.
Oh, absolutely. Right?
You have to assume.
Did I talk about it last week? But it's like seeing an ad or like a music video. It's like, oh, is that Justin Bieber's new phone that he loves? It's like, no, that's what paid for the music video. That 2-second shot of a fucking Galaxy Samsung or whatever.
Oh yeah,
like that's the music video.
Of course,
is
yeah.
that?
Oh no, when Nelly holds out a shoe to the camera, as like in the middle of his rap video,
it's always wild to me. Just like here it is.
This is the product. Have you observed the product? You should purchase it. Consider.
This will pay my future legal fees.
I've never seen 50 Cent guzzling vitamin water in any of his videos.
He should.
You would think it'd be a slam dunk, but he does not. But yeah, basement cast at the end of the of this current week.
Did you see? Before we get away from ads being disgusting, certain ads.
But
being
before
disgusting.
we get to ours.
Yeah, are not disgusting ads. Did you see, I forget what it was, and I should, somebody track it down and send it to me so I can show it to people. But it was a shot of what I would call the brand meme apocalypse. And it was I think Arby's or fucking Carl's Jr. or some shit trying to meme a recent situation. And in the replies, you look and it's like, oh, there's Wendy's going, oh, yeah, let's get in on this. And then Burger King is like, oh, we love a good old meme off. And then, Subway. And every fucking... And Oreos was in there.
Go ahead, okay.
And then at the end, you have the Rick and Morty official account going, oh, don't worry, brands... We can help you all get Swifty. And it's like 20 brands in a row, and they're only talking to each other.
You're talking like this the first time you've seen this.
And it is the first time I've seen it.
This is a new phenomenon.
And I wanted to vomit blood.
Okay, well, guess what?
What?
This is all brand accounts do.
Oh my god.
The whole dunking on people phase is gone. Now, the new thing to do is dunk on each other because we're all employees, we're all millennials working behind a Twitter account for a brand. So talking to each other accomplishes all of our goals at the same time.
And then there's no one to say silence brand.
Because we're doing it to each other. And everyone is basically then supposed to screenshot it and then repost it on iFunny and basically go, LOL, did you see Wendy's and Coke talking to each other? Ha ha ha.
I don't think it's going to take till 2077 to hit that cyberpunk dystopia.
Well, I mean, this is like the brand conversation roundtable is absolutely a regular occurrence. And every day is just meant to see what new crazy cross promotions unexpected in the wild we can find. Sure, Wendy's is probably going to hang out with Coke, but who expected Wendy's to cross over with Sonic the Hedgehog?
I hate it.
I mean, or you can just make Mecha like Arby's.
I feel like Arby's gets a pass because they were the first ones. And they do papercraft
They
stuff.
were not the first ones, but their papercraft shit's dope.
Yeah,
and I
it's
saw
cool.
the live Nightmare from Soul Calibur sculpture, and they were just
should-
like, yeah, we just made it. They just have like an artist that's just like, yeah,
I've never eaten
make
at
cool
Arby's,
shit.
but I now have a strong emotional connection to the papercraft that Arby's gives.
there you go. Yeah. So, they'll brand on their own. No one can silence them because they're like, yo, we made a thing. But anyway,
I don't know, something about anthropomorphized Mountain Dew cans.
well, what I'm really waiting on is for an artist to come along and find ways to tastefully rip the KFC pieces of meat into art and then stick them on like paper mache and then start looking and seeing like gross meat art.
I still think my favorite outcome of all this brand synergy was Kellogg's trying it with Frosted Flakes and it being a massive disaster. Do you remember that?
No.
Tony the Tiger had a Twitter account, and then Tony the Tiger had to be like, stop sending me these drawings.
Oh, and at which point Chester Cheetah stepped in and went, I love it. Send me all your drawings.
I was like, okay.
And that was a win for Cheetos that day.
It was sure. Oh,
Yeah, I remember that.
You ruined it.
I remember that. That was great. Well, anyway.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Okay.
Our brand's pretty good, though.
And our ads are great.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty okay.
We'll get there, though. First things first. We have weeks to get through.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wow, you just nestled it right in there, huh?
Oh, yeah, I like a cold balls.
Okay.
Not like-
A cold balls.
Yeah.
As in, like...
No, like a batch of cold balls.
Okay.
Yeah, this is where you keep drinks.
Cool.
Cold drinks next to your testicles.
Did you know that your testicles are like... they act the way they do because they're dying to stay warm the whole time?
That's right.
But they want to stay at an exact temperature, so...
Yeah, gotta keep them cold.
Okay. Well...
Keep that machinery gunked up and misfiring.
Do you want your balls cold, or do you want your Red Bull at ball temperature?
No, I want the
See, now, because, hold on. You are the conducting is, like, the temperature is going both ways.
Yeah, but I drink these fast enough that it's not gonna happen.
Ball temperature Red Bull, got it. Go on.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. What did I do this week? Okay, I played FF14 and I watched The Basement and I watched JoJo. That was my week. The only thing, well, two of those I can't talk about right now. I'll talk about later. Other than both of those television programs that I consumed were of a high quality.
It is, like, becoming...
Within, like, 1 or 2 days of each other? Like, just...
Yeah, it's Friday and then Sunday. But I'm having these moments after, specifically in like Attack on Titan case, of just like hitting the credits and then leaning back and just going, God damn, I appreciate a good story.
Yeah.
Like, I really like just that Game of Thrones burn is still in it. The embers are still cooling down.
We're all aware, Anime Fan 420, Attack on Titan is trash, and we really need to read little girl anime, whatever.
The embers are still cooling down.
But I'm having a big fun with Attack on Titan.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, folks are dying to know what my thoughts are on Gon and his fishing hook, but we'll get there.
You said that last week.
Yeah.
You don't get to say we'll get there last week.
No, not on the podcast. In terms of the recorded content.
But has that gone up yet?
Not yet. Well, I currently have some really fun stuff going out with Eyepatch Wolf in the form of the Mystical Ninja.
I can't even get details on this shit off the podcast.
Yeah. So it's like, it's fine. We're doing Mystical Ninja right now, and then there's
Shaking
some...
my fist at you.
I am savoring the taste of Eyepatch Wolf.
You know what my favorite
time.
part about this is that when I saw that you had watched some of Hunter x Hunter, I went, oh wow, this will be really great. Wooly's gonna say, oh, maybe it's not so bad, maybe I'll watch it, and then I'll get to wait 4 years to talk to him about anything of importance in that show.
Maybe sooner. We'll see.
Maybe.
But yeah, so you watch the shows.
I did. I also played 14. I've been doing this thing where, because Shadowbringers is coming.
Yep.
I'm just leveling everything to like a minimum level of like 50 just to see, because there's a bunch of classes that I never played ever. And I found something that I'm damn sure is not unique to fucking MMOs. I played Machinist up to 50, which is engineers that shoot a gun. And they got reworked for the last expansion, and I'm playing through it. I'm like, what were they fucking thinking when they reworked this character? It's as if there was a new edition of Street Fighter that came out, and Ryu just didn't have a Shoryuken anymore, and played like shit, and looked like shit, and everything about him was just shit. It's astonishing.
Admit it, Pat. Bard for life.
Bard's way better than Machinist. Way fucking better than Machinist. Also, you're
How about you? How about you?
Help.
How about
getting
you?
help.
How about you just get Black Mage to cap, you fucking coward?
Black Mage is at 50, and after getting them to 50, I understand that they're not quite as bad as I thought. But they have problems.
What's the fucking deal with Hannibal?
What's the deal with Hannibal?
What's Hannibal doing?
I don't know. Hannibal looks like he just walks into sets and just starts recording. Like, it doesn't look like in that commercial like he's supposed to be there at all. It looks like he just showed up.
What a get. Anyway,
but to answer all of your questions in a row, Bard's more fun than I expected, but they're still dorks. So I maintain that. Black mages have a serious problem where the class plays like garbage and is a one-button boring piece of shit up until level 40, which is a long fucking time to level through garbage.
When are you going to embrace turret?
I don't like this new Wooly that just...
What are you talking about?
Has a list of things in front of him.
When are you going to do it?
Never.
Why?
Because it's unsatisfying and you have to move too much. In these
Sounds like
encounters.
fucking Pat-isms to me.
No, it really doesn't.
What's wrong with turret?
What's wrong with turret? You have to maintain... These aren't honest questions! I hate it! All right. The problem with turret is that FF14 fights require you to move so often that it have a simple rotation, but it constantly breaks. And the number one way to get good at a fight is just to find the one spot you can stand in for 20 plus seconds without having to move. But more than that is that Black Mage players tend to go, I can eat this damage, the healer will just deal with it, and are inconsiderate to actually play with because their class teaches them to be inconsiderate.
Okay, well, 2 words. Healers adjust.
Oh my god. You know that meme got killed at a certain point?
Did it?
Yeah. Because there was a fight in which Miztech, by the way, good work Miztech, you do great, put out a guide in which one of the pieces of advice for the fight was actually healers adjust. In terms of like, you go here, and then the healers will adjust left or right. And then once it became that, it was like, it just wasn't as fun anymore. Anyway, the point being is that Machinist is so fucking trash that it makes sense that out of, they show off new classes for an expansion, but then they show, hey, we're changing this old one. The Machinist rework is getting more excitement than some of the new classes because it's so trash now.
So now you're just like, fuck DPS?
What?
Damage per second?
Yeah.
Is a bad way to go?
No.
Oh, it's a good way to go.
That's the opposite
It's
of
a
what
good
I
way
said.
to go.
No.
So what's the problem?
What are you asking me?
What's different?
What are you asking?
I'm asking you. What your deal is? What's your why do you have problems with the new update?
I don't.
It sounded like you did. Okay, my
no,
mistake.
I'm saying Machinist right now is embarrassing garbage.
Now, right?
Right now.
Okay. Gotcha.
Therefore, that is why it is so exciting to people that they're going to supposedly fix it, or at least redesign it.
Gotcha. Okay. The chat is my arrow.
I know. I see it. I can see it. Oh my god. This is much more frustrating.
All right. Okay. That's fine.
But yeah, no, it's a bummer because, and there is, I know I've seen MOBA players have this emotion. I know I've seen fighting game players have it where the update comes out and they change the character enough And for MMO players, it's extra bad because they get art commissioned of their characters, and they have like an attachment to the character because it's a created character that they made. And like, hey, you know that class you had a lot of fun with? It's not just actual garbage now. It's also unfun to play and now uncool, and people look down on you for playing it. Like it's the whole package.
Unless you're mid. Because, you know, remember that whole chapter.
He stopped playing the game after that.
I guess he did, didn't he?
He did. I spoke to him about it recently.
Things didn't go great. Well, I know he likes to take his...
Also, I should point it. Let's have an update to that, actually.
Oh.
So Min had a long-standing story where he wanted to beat the A Realm Reborn raid as a class and not a job, which robs him of 5 or 6 abilities. They have updated the game in like 10 different ways to make that less and less viable. New classes don't have classes. They're only jobs.
So they literally patched his fun out of the game.
And now they have
updated his fun out of the game.
They have a UI indicator every time you level up that says, "Hey, motherfucker, go do your job quest, you dumb idiot." And it does not go away until you do it. So I would like the idea of if he were to be trying that now, there would be 5 pop-ups on the screen just essentially saying, "Stop it. Stop it, jackass."
Well, no, because realistically, all he ever needs to do is find the least fun thing in the game and maximize it to the point of
then he would be playing Blue Mage then, I guess.
Is that the place to go?
It's really bad. It's like... You know when a game developer says, "Hey, we got this new feature," and they show it off in a preview, and everybody goes, "That looks like fucking shit," and then the people come out and go, "Hey, man, maybe it's gonna be fun. Maybe it's gonna be fun," and then it comes out, and everyone's like, "This sucks and is bad," and then the devs go, "Don't worry, guys, we'll fix it in a year or 2.
Do you miss the days when you'd play just as a class to have access to Flash just for the sake of Fates? I don't.
I don't imagine that you do. But those cross-class skill days are over. They're gone.
It's the new age now.
Seriously, Blue Mage sucks ass. It's a terrible idea. They put out a class in the game that can't reach level cap and is not allowed to play in party content with other classes. Because they don't want to balance it.
Yeah, I'll find out what his. I mean, if he stopped, he stopped.
Yeah, he has not played since like A Realm Reborn. So there's no information on that front.
Cool.
Yes, thank you.
All right. How'd that talk go? How'd that 14th discussion go? Was that good?
It was certainly more active than usual.
Did you enjoy that one?
I'm
glad you enjoyed it.
No, you know what? There's an in between here because there's a genius to the way you're doing this because you're picking from the chat, right? And they're all disparate thoughts, but they're so far away from whatever the last one was that it's a leap to get there.
Yeah, hold on. Let me tuck my dreads in front of my face and read it for a minute and see what it says.
You know what? You know what, man? I feel for you because if you did have Epitaph, dread viewing is not optimal compared to wavy haired viewing.
White hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be like there'd be like
or future
big gaps.
Yeah,
it'd be big gaps. It'd be pretty.
Alternatively,
hard.
You could get a little sliver, but it'd be a different time. That'd be helpful.
Oh, each one.
Yeah. It depends on whether or not if the hair counts as a unit.
I have seen old ass Rastafarians with like the dreadlock, the big, the one. They have the one, and like that's a way to do it, you know. But
doesn't that take like 10 times longer to grow out or something?
Yeah, it takes a really long time, and you got to really just ignore it for a while. But it'd really be stupid, for example, if you had Epitaph and you decided just because of your own personality that you're like, I like shaving my head.
Yeah.
So you never know. You literally never knew.
Well, because Epitaph's a stand ability, it doesn't necessarily have, like, I always interpret it as it uses the hair because the hair is available. We're talking about some dumbass that thinks a frog is a telephone.
Sure.
Right?
but just what if it's locked to something that you just never pay attention to? You know.
Well, if you shaved your head, I know exactly where it would appear. It would appear in the dome. But then you would need that double mirror shit
right
to get at it.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want that as a ringtone, I can provide that for you as a ringtone.
I really don't.
Right? Yeah?
I really, really don't.
Seems awful, right?
Yeah. What if you could just like, I mean, there's other hair on your body. You can refer to that.
It's not going to be long and wavy, that's for damn sure.
No, it might even be a different color. Well, anyway.
Also, I have shockingly little hair on my body, so it wouldn't work all that well.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, can we talk about the Trader's Requiem?
Yeah.
The Uragiri Mono?
Is he speaking Italian?
Yes.
Okay.
So, we're going to talk about the current JoJo, the current part 5. But the one thing I kind of forgot, I actually forgot about the intro updates because it's been so mild overall this time around. And I feel as well like they kind of overdid themselves with Great Days. Right? They really blew it out of the water.
The whole intro got chopped and screwed and remixed.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just how much it got remixed. It's literally that every shot of Great Days has like an implication or a meaning or something else going on in reference to the story. And with part 5, they calmed that down a lot.
Yeah.
They just went for visual cools.
Yeah.
And like,
hey,
there's a little something for you if you're looking for it.
Do you see Bruno? Bruno's pretty hot, huh? Like, that's what the intro says to me.
There's little hints of like, oh, there it is, but there's
a little blood drippy thing.
But for the most part, you're like, yeah, you're just kind of seeing cool stuff happen. But when they finally, they went like, hey, let's update things a little bit and do our intro remix, which we usually do. I like that they revisited End of the World.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely meant to be almost exactly the same type of thing.
Well, there's parallels in the episode with the staircase.
Yes.
And it's like, this is very intentional.
I mean, even the name, right?
Yeah.
You know?
And it's intentional that this person is dealing with this archetype and so on and so
it's
forth.
Interesting, and like, I really dig what I didn't expect to. So the whole time I was talking about, like, I want to see, when King Crimson drops, I want a nice sound effect to make up for, like, the Dio clock slow. Tick, 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 right? And Bites the Dust definitely had some cool shit. But I wanted something really distinct here. And they started using it. There's a little ring, right? A little high-pitched ding noise. But what they did really finally reveal is we're going to have a visual to go along with it.
Yeah, it looks like a VHS, like, scratch.
No. When you're inside of it.
Oh, that. Yes.
So, and that's what they drop inside of the intro is the world breaks away and you're floating in space because nothing but you and the observer of the time that is being edited, aka fucking Diavolo, are the ones that are relevant. So, like, you get to see visually things being fucked around with, you know? And it's a really nice way to do it. I like a lot how you can explain something that doesn't work. Like in a manga panel, you can go, that panel never happened. But when you're watching it, you're looking at it like, the world crumbled away. So clearly this
is important.
Is something, whatever's happening here.
We're having forward after images and all sorts of visual indicators. They're putting so much extra, like, work into showing a fairly confusing sequence of events.
And I think that the visual indicator of the world crumbling is really important because when Dio stops time, it becomes obvious the world just stops.
Yeah, there's a sepia tone.
And then it just resumes. Yeah. And he literally says it. But in this case, the fact that everything is gone is almost indicative of the fact that none of this exists anymore, right? I have now stopped this point in time and I'm going to rebuild it here, but all of this black is just not, it doesn't happen, you know?
Or does
depending on whether the action entering is whether the cause continues or whether the effect would have ended within the time frame.
I feel so. There's a bunch of stuff about Part 5 that I don't like as much as earlier parts.
Oh yeah, it's still the weakest part in my opinion.
So. However,
but it's fantastic.
For what none of those complaints are the word Rome and anything that happens in the last 15% of the story.
I had to check the clock to see. I'm like, wait, how many episodes are left?
Not many.
Enough though.
Yeah,
but like doing the math, there's enough.
But like you're here, you're in Cairo, and Dio's out of the coffin.
The other thing I really like is that so when we got the Dio time stop in End of the World, and you get the footsteps.
Yeah.
They turn around, they ora muda.
Yeah.
And then the logo explodes.
Yeah.
In this case, they put it in a better place. They put it right before the final chorus kicks in, you know, so that when he does the big talk and he does the Italian thing, and then time resumes, Giorno turns around and the fucking chorus kicks in, and the whole thing he's staring at in Epitaph is the moment that's about to occur. So it's like, the momentum
It
builds.
almost feels like in 2 or 3 episodes there will be another significant change to the moment you are describing right now.
Yeah, I would say that those last little paddles, or the last little shots of Joe, I feel like that is ample time to put more art,
more something
inside that intro.
What?
Also, I really got to enjoy it was obvious when I saw it, and like I was kind of just laughing because when Steph first saw that intro, she's like, oh, it's called, what is it, Trader's Requiem, and I'm like, oh, that name, right?
Yeah,
because right. And all of these names are like, they're so on the money, but they make me smile when I hear them in advance. Because like the day one of Part 3, I saw Stand Proud as the name of the title, and I'm like, you know, and that's exactly it. Like it all continues to be on the nose, but Trader's Requiem in particular is really good.
There's 2 fun things that I want to talk about from the last 1 or 2. One is Paige was with me when I was watching it, and I'll just say somebody gets fucked up harder than almost anyone's ever gotten fucked up in JoJo in like a half second. And she asked, wait, I'm like, don't worry about it, he just got better. Like, the story does not give a shit about how that person got better. They just literally flash forward to, so I'm fine.
Yeah, healing goes fast and loose when you're a part of the crew.
Right?
When you're part of the crew and it's before plot time.
And it's like, it's wild.
Like, honestly, if you're a part of a JoJo crew and a villain, a stand user of the week shows up, you're practically invincible.
Yeah.
Right? Did you lose?
So you're saying at this point in time that person was a stand user of the week?
I mean, it's just like, if chunks of meat fly off of your body, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
So that's like wild to me. And then the other thing is that
getting shot with your own fucking bullets, no problem.
Yeah, whatever, I'll be fine. Even before healing happens, I'll be fine.
So used to it by now.
So I was thinking about it, like, Part 1 ends depending on where you feel, like in the castle or on the boat, and there's some collateral damage there, but it's not like it's not the end of the world, right?
No.
Part 2 ends on a volcano or deserted coliseum with just vampires. Part 3, there's collateral damage in Cairo for sure.
The threat of losing in Part 2 is massive,
right?
But it's not actually
Part
collateral.
4 takes place on like that street behind your house.
Yep.
You know, like 2 blocks over.
A couple of people in an unfortunate Google path get rocked.
Yeah.
In the middle of the chase.
The last batch of Part 5 is disastrous.
Like, if you want to talk about like even in Part 4, like that poor apartment that got entered.
Yeah, one apartment, right?
Big shame.
But like in Part 5, the area in one of the most populated cities in the world, in the core of the downtown, is essentially wiped from existence and disasterified twice.
Yes. And it's important to note that, like, you know, the reasons behind that are clearly why at some point you got to go like, okay, time to unleash the Dio within.
Yeah.
And into the trash it goes. Because, yeah, like, that's how bad that got. And also, it was clear that it's like, yo, Chocolata doesn't give a fuck.
No.
He doesn't give a shit.
So the first thing you ever hear about Chocolata ever is Chocolata might be the biggest piece of shit that ever existed.
They don't even know about the real shit he did before he showed up.
No, they just tell from just right now.
No one knows about the old people.
Nobody.
But, like...
The narrator knows.
Yeah, and that's about it, right? And here's the thing about Chocolata, and, like, I fucking guffawed when I was reading it. And it was really funny, too, when it happened in the show. But, like, it's a really great sudden thing is, okay, so my stand works with altitude.
Yeah.
Right? What is the most dickish thing I can do ever?
Oh, he's chasing
He's in a helicopter!
Oh, no!
Like, the most dickish thing you can do to not give a fuck is... everybody gets some, you know. I'm up here, literally. Go fuck yourselves, and I'm getting higher.
I would love for somebody to
What a piece of
track
shit.
down if there's any information about this. But when I look at Chocolata and I look at how bad he gets it and how overdone his villainy is,
Yeah.
all I can think of is this was supposed to be Fugo. Is that Fugo was supposed to get the 7 pages because he's a bitch.
I don't think so at all.
It's the
That's
powers
not
being so similar to me.
But it doesn't know. There's no indicator that they were meant to be anything. Like, it's not. And also, Seko being involved is the whole, like, oh, you're a pair, and you got the whole pair thing working together, but now you're, like, a creepy fucking, like, pet to this guy. And they go way over the top cartoonish villain styles.
Apparently, Fugo was apparently supposed to betray the squad.
Oh. Interesting.
So I just found that out now, but the reason why I thought that was because the power set is so similar with the mold and the fucking melting
Poison
bullshit.
Yeah.
And all I can think of is that it was supposed to be that way, and then he was like, okay, still too bullshit to put in.
I would say that I'm not sure where Fugo's book goes too much outside of like some of the more absurd details.
It goes drugs.
He goes a lot of places, but yeah, whatchamacallit, Seko. The question and the weird part is that when it came down to animating it, it was really unclear what happened to him. Whereas in the pages of the manga, it was way more obvious.
Oh yeah,
right. So when Seko grabs Doppio.
Yeah.
And then we get our, like, you know, hero stabs through the
yeah, shit.
We go Jotaro punches through the lady to get the murderer and puts a knife in his gut type of moment, right?
Josuke.
Excuse me. Yes. Yeah. We then see Seko is kind of weird, like and then like it doesn't look, it's not clear what's kind of happening with his hand, and then he just kind of crawls into the dumpster, into the truck rather. And it's like, I'm pretty sure two things. One, in the book, that's meant to be Bruno zipping his hand inside of his throat.
Okay.
And then reattaches it so that he can't fucking really breathe.
Okay.
And then with his new zipped hand throat, he kind of into the street, and then that's that, you know? And like, it's a pretty clear cut, like, oh, he's done.
Yeah.
But in this case, the way it ended, and especially with him driving off and talking, I kind of felt like, is he alive?
Well, no, because they're being crushed into paste in a garbage truck.
Yeah, but he's talking as it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit unclear. I don't know. I guess I just remembered it. I remembered reading it in a much more clear. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
You know, and then in the anime, it seemed like, did they just choose to handle it differently? I don't know.
Oh, the other thing is that the last batch that we're dealing with has. Okay, guys, it's the final battle. Stuff's going bad. People are getting fucking killed. We barely made it here. Time for 14 minutes of slapstick.
Yes.
Just straight up. There's a corpse up there. Fuck it. Slapstick. Ah!
Freaky.
Oh my God.
Freaky Friday.
Wow.
Your name.
Wowie Sowie.
In the middle of my JoJo.
Where are my testicles?
Yeah. The thing I actually like, so I've been looking forward to two things for part 5 the entire time, right? 3. I've been looking forward to White Album Gently Weeps. I was not disappointed. That was done great. I've been looking forward to the Punch Fest.
Yeah.
That was great. 30 seconds, almost not enough time.
Yeah.
Right? Also, not enough emphasis on the uri.
Yeah.
Because it got lost in the middle of the auras.
Yeah.
Or the mudas. And, like, people I was watching with didn't even catch it. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had to go, wait, hold on. Do you recognize, do you know what this is over here? Because, it should have been much more of a, like thing.
Yeah.
We want the Capcom version of it where
Yeah.
he shakes and vibrates as he does it. But it was great. It was so, yes, how did she not catch it? It was super obvious. Sometimes memory can be fleeting.
Yeah.
It's, what can I say? But the other thing I wanted to see, and I wanted it done so expensive, is that fucking Requiem walk needs to be like 60 frames per second.
It's so
as Silver
animated.
Chariot fucking rocks and struts, because the way the gesture is drawn in the book, it's a strut.
Yeah.
He's not just walking, he's strutting.
There's a real win on the animation front on Requiem, because it has more frames of animation in its natural it's either deadly still, doesn't move at all, or is having too many frames of animation as people around it are not animating as fast.
Yeah.
And it has a weird refractory thing, which is probably a lot easier to do in a photo program than it is to do on paper. And it looks like it's not supposed to be part of the same show.
It does. And I really was hoping we would see a weird effect in terms of, like, he's walking, but the perspective he's walking on doesn't match up with the environment, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really wanted it because, like, it's so menacing the way it's drawn. And, like literally menacing the way it's drawn, because you're just like, this fucking terrifying thing. You know, like, there's the memes coming out, like, everybody talks shit till the Requiem starts walking, you know? Like, and they did a good job with it. It is proper intimidating, and you don't know what the fuck is happening.
So this last couple episodes, and I was talking with some people, and I got to that fun conversation, which is, hey, remember when Ericy forgot about that shit?
Yep.
And part 5 has it, I think, the worst.
No.
Oh, yeah? Well, who has it worse?
Part 6.
Well, I wouldn't know then. The worst of what I've seen so far.
Yep.
But, like, the one that keeps coming up is, hey, where did Giorno's perception distorting and damage reflection abilities go?
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Never uses them again.
Like, the beginning of his kit
just
disappears immediately as soon as he gets the healing bullshit.
Well, it's Araki creates loose sentences as stand definitions, and gets to refer back to them whenever he goes, I forgot, what does this do again?
Yeah.
And he reads the sentence and goes, I guess this could mean that. And
Sorta.
then he'll do it. But no, it does definitely. We do have interviews where he's like, "Yeah, I don't read my old shit."
So I went back and found, like, a big ass list, and out of all of them, there's one that is just my absolute big favorite. I couldn't believe it, which is, hey, do you remember that flashback in part 4 where Josuke talks about how this man with a pompadour saved him?
Yep, the sickest part,
and how it suspiciously looks identical to him.
Did he go back in time and save himself?
And then we have a whole stand that has the ability to do that.
Yep.
And how it was clearly setting up.
Yep.
When asked what was up with that at an interview, Ericy went, "Oh yeah, that did happen." And that was his answer.
Yep.
So he, like, 100% forgot that thread.
Completely slipped his mind.
Whoops.
The genius is a genius of the moment.
Oh my god.
And only of the moment.
It's astonishing.
That's how it rolls. That's how it goes.
And so every time,
it's almost amazing that part 3 had Dio at all.
part 3 having Dio is, like, obviously you need Dio. He's the best. But, like, how we got there is just like, oh yeah, they did totally do that coffin.
That retcon was
it's so
thing of beauty
to people who are not familiar with what we're talking about.
It's a thing of beauty.
I want to make it really clear that this is the worst retcon ever, because the retcon doesn't work. It doesn't work. In part 1, Erina and the baby
Lisa
escape in Dio's very sturdy coffin. They escape the explosion in his coffin and float away to be discovered by a passing ship. In part 3, it explains that after the fight with Jonathan, Dio managed to get his body and crawl into his coffin, which then sank to the bottom of the ocean, only to be retrieved by some fishermans. And
see, you're acting like there wasn't an inner coffin.
I hate it. Shut up.
There was an inner coffin and an outer coffin.
The coffin that floated was thrown back into the water empty and then sank.
The outer coffin was used as a flotation device to save our heroes, while the inner coffin, marked with the name Dio, sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
It's so bad.
Inner coffin,
so bad.
Outer coffin.
It's
inner coffin, outer coffin, right? We use the outer one because it's bigger, and the inner one sinks. It's so simple.
I think when he got confronted on that, he's like, yeah, I didn't care. I wanted to bring Dio back.
It's a Matryoshka doll. I don't understand what the problem is.
I hate it.
Anyway, the worst.
Oh, worse than that.
Well, again, like I said, it's literally in part 6, he names a stand that has been
Earth,
named already.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, I remember that.
He just uses the same name twice.
And then he changed it to
Planet Waves.
A Bob Dylan song, I think.
Planet Waves.
Okay.
Because, like, someone along the way went, dude.
You did that one.
And, like, that's not even a, oh, yeah, we can hand wave. It's like, no, that's literally a name that's already taken, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. God damn it.
Oh, that went about as bad as it could go.
That was the worst it could possibly go.
Because you grabbed it, but you grabbed it upside down.
Yeah, because what happened was I picked up the can, right?
Yeah.
And then the coaster was stuck to it.
Uh-huh.
And then it fell off, and then I tried to catch the coaster.
But then dropped the can.
And then, and it actually hit the mixer a little bit.
So really, never use coasters. Just use your balls to hold your drink. Use it. It's handy. It's got like a cushion. It's like a seat for your drink.
Thankfully, this is a sugar-free, so it's not going to do any damage.
Sugar hitting a surface is the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. The first thing I learned was about, like, having a sugar-free is that, like, yeah, you can wipe it up right. You got to wipe that shit up, but it's not going to leave the sticky dry.
So I drank fucking diet sodas, and I drink sugar-free Red Bulls and all that, and like I've spilled them on my felt couch, which you're not supposed to eat on, but whatever, I'm gonna drink my drink, and it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Okay, all right.
Some of it hit the mixer, though.
Yeah, well, can they hear us?
They can hear you.
Oh, they can't hear Wooly at all? That's funny. Well, I mean, you left. Wooly left, guys. Yeah, women, hold your fucking your drink in your titties. That works. Get some nice cold titters.
Will that work? Is it like, isn't that shot glasses only?
Well, it depends what you're packing, right?
I feel like
You're packing enough. You can put a 40 in there.
All right, we good.
This podcast this week is brought to you by Swiffer.
Swiffer.
Is that a wet jet?
That's a Swiffer wet jet, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's good. I like that. Don't silence Swiffer. Swiffer's a nice brand. They clean your floor. Did you see Mr. Clean wishing for a fucking barren wasteland?
I did not.
Holy shit.
Oh, yes, I wish for a world.
Oh my god, I wish for a world of clean, and he's looking at Mars.
Yeah, I did see that.
And I'm like, yeah, Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
Let's scrape all the life from this shit.
Yeah. No, I've had people come over and be confused because I have the Swiffer, and the Swiffer works.
I like a Swiffer.
And they're like, you don't have one of those like dollar store fake Swiffer?
Nah, man.
I'm like, nah, you hit the button and it squirts and you do the squirt clean.
The brand gives the cleaning power.
That's exactly
not
where it
that
comes
other
from.
brand.
You can't silence the brand. You need it to clean. It's good shit. And look at that. We are great. Actually, hold on. Wait, fuck.
I'll be right back.
Do what you gotta do. Just a little bit of dangerous liquid on the mixer. It's fine. No electrocutions. All right, he's getting this thing. Wow. Hey. All right. I forgot to talk last week about the weirdest thing I found in Michigan. The weirdest thing I found.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold it up right here.
Is it Michigonians?
What does this look like to you?
Looks like a hockey puck, but I can see the word teriyaki on it.
This is jerky, and it is jerky served in a hockey puck.
That's not that weird.
And when you open it up, you go, oh, well, at least it'll be the pieces of jerky.
No, it's one jerky, isn't it?
Nope. Behold, the fine jerky powder served in the hockey puck, because this is jerky chew. And this is not even actually jerky. It is the sawdust of the jerky that is left behind in the factory after they do all the jerky
So you
cutting.
know what's really weird to me is that I don't find that bizarre, because regions that love hockey put food in hockey pucks.
I've never seen this before.
Oh, you never? Okay.
Never seen this
like
before.
Sweden puts a lot of weird candy in hockey puck style shit.
Okay.
But the jerky sawdust part is throwing me.
Because this is not even like tobacco chew is a thing that they do.
Yeah.
Right? And they fucking take it and they spit it and it's gross.
For people that don't want to smell of smoke and don't want to risk lung cancer, but love mouth cancer.
Yes. They do it, right? But in this case, it's just beef powder.
Yeah.
But not beef soup powder.
No, not beef stock.
It's literally just sawdust beef.
Yeah.
And I had some.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I
Did you
eating
chew it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't very satisfying.
What?
It had the flavor and it was just a powder. And I'm like, what's the point of this? Who's this for?
Michigonians.
Why not just eat a piece of meat or jerky? Why not eat a regular piece of jerky? I mean, I can imagine, like, if you maybe were like, hey, I need to make shakes because, I don't know, I can't chew.
You know what?
I'm old and I need the powder. The tooth of the jerky is so hard on my teeth. You need it all softened up.
This feels like a soul food situation where at some point in Michigan's history, all they had was sawdust.
No, this feels like a fucking Timbits situation where
they
they
have
were
it left
sweeping up a whole lot of jerky sawdust and realized, why aren't we
We can
selling
trick
this?
idiots into eating this.
Why not? I feel like that's what it was. It's like, use the whole animal, use every part. They found themselves tossing out some extra fucking powder.
Okay, people are saying that is how it was created.
Yeah.
The one that I said. And people are also saying that this is not limited to Michigan.
Okay, well,
This is a thing elsewhere.
It's crazy. I feel like
People
someone
are saying it's in Arizona.
Some people found that factory workers were probably eating it, and then they went, yo, why don't you bag and sell this shit? And then they started doing it. And why does it come in a hockey puck?
You know what? I got a really good answer. Somebody said that if you don't have any teeth anymore from the mouth cancer because you chewed too much tobacco, you can suck on the jerky dust.
That is what I was saying. If you are the old or the toothless, then it
Can't
makes
eat the
perfect
jerky.
sense. But you want that beef flavor.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also believe they might not have had meat at some point. They only had jerky dust.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just very surprised. I've never known about the existence of this. I was shocked to find out that beef powder existed. A lot of people are fond of it. I can see that. I can see you out there. That's good. I'm quite surprised.
Hockey puck is to make it look like tobacco chew.
Oh, gotcha.
People are saying that it is like Nicorette for chew,
Gotcha.
which actually makes a lot of sense now.
Yes. This is
Gotta stop chewing tobacco, but gotta chew something.
Hey, you guys get confused at milk in bags. I get confused.
Milk in bags is better. It's a better system.
Of course it is, but they don't understand that. You get confused at the better system of milk in bags, right? As you
Metric
have
milk in bags, mind
inferior
you.
boxes. That's fine. We get confused at hockey puck beef powder.
Beef powder.
Yeah, it's quite simple. There you go. All right, and we're off to the races.
Trivial regional differences are my favorite.
No, it's not. The bags are dumb. Yes.
The bags
Become my arrow.
Here's the deal. The bags are dumb. The bags are dumb, but they keep more milk fresh longer.
Oh god.
There's a
damn it.
Warframe icon, like a player icon, that is a bag of milk.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because Warframe's from Canada. You fucks.
It's a more controlled pour.
Yeah. Well, no, because you get 4 liters of milk, which I believe is just over a gallon, but you get them in 1.25 liter bags, so that you cut the bag of the 1.25 liter, drink that. Then even if you waste it, the other 2 bags don't go bad. Unlike a gallon of milk.
Milk bag requiem, says Plague. You see, if you've never poured a milk bag, you don't know how much better it is.
It's also okay.
How about that? Okay,
hey.
So if you're out there right now and you are getting upset at this concept, here's the deal. If you have never poured both,
You don't know.
remove yourself from the discussion immediately. You lack knowledge.
All right, well, I'm going to ask
All right?
you the
How about that?
I'm going to ask you the easiest question.
Have the opinions you want to have, but you literally are missing the experience, so remove yourself from the discussion.
I want to ask you the easiest question in the world, and I'm only asking you so that we can dunk on morons that don't know how to do better. How many times do you cut the bag?
Once.
Oh no. Oh no, Wooly. Are you for real? You cut it twice.
To get the aeration?
To get the airflow.
Uh,
When's the last time you cut it?
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't drink enough milk anymore to get the bags.
That's fine.
But because if you cut the once, it just pours out. If you cut it the twice on the other side, it has like a fucking arc that is like perfect for pouring.
Right. Okay, I see that.
Shame.
I see that. No, I pinch. I pinch the
You
bag.
pinch?
I pinch the bag back, and we just control the pour, and you get it all.
Oh, that's bizarre.
It's controlled.
It's just much easier to cut the second tip.
It's you have so much control. You know, it is tactile keyboards versus those other bullshit ones, and you feel it, and you're just like, ooh, I got exactly the amount of milk I was looking for right there. I'm telling you. And you know what's fun? You know what's fun?
What's that?
When you get the big bag of milk, how many come inside of it?
That phrase just hit me wrong. You get 4.
You get 3.
Really?
Yeah, you get 3. When's the last time you got bag milk?
Probably a while ago. I thought
3. You get 3 in a bag.
Because it's 4 liters is 1.3.
And you get the exactly. So you know. So it's like it's a properly distributed, you know. And then you can and you lay it out in the fridge, and then you got your fucking.
So, whenever this comes up, people from areas of the world that don't have milk bags all go nuts because they type bag of milk,
Yeah.
and they just see the bag and
Yeah.
they go, how would you pour that without it just exploding like that's the thought. It's like there's a holder, there's a bag holder that you pour with.
It is so much control. You have never felt this.
I'm
much
getting
control.
really upset because in the last minute I put up a Twitter poll.
Okay.
That's pinch the bag or cut the bag twice, and you are wrecking me with this pinch the bag shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, everyone I know pinches the bag.
That's crazy. I don't like it.
How did you? I mean, I'm not going to argue that aerodynamics.
We need to do a test.
I'm not going to argue that aerodynamics would probably flow nicely with 2 because I know for a fact that
That's a life hack.
when you want to open a door to ventilate a room, you got to open a window too, right? Otherwise, the air doesn't go anywhere, right? You got to create a wind tunnel. So I understand, and I approve of the double cut. But for 30 years of my life, I've been pinching bags. Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna just tell it like it is.
I wanna fight a complaint that I'm seeing that says, why do you have a separate container for your milk bag? You have a separate container for bullets. It's a gun. It's a milk gun. You load the cartridge. You shoot the milk.
I have a question for you. Have you ever purchased a box or carton of milk
Yeah.
and took it home only to find that the bottom seal was not so perfectly sealed?
Yep.
Or that somewhere else in that carton there was another leaky milk?
Yep.
And so the bottom
Right in
of
the
this
trash.
one just fucking
Don't
stinks
trust
up
it.
your fridge.
Just don't trust it
Sticks
at all.
to the bottom. Maybe someone was shitty with the rip on the spout, and the spout rip led to someone pouring and putting it back, and then milk drizzles down the side.
Right in the trash.
And fucking hits the bottom, and now you got milk all over the bottom. Guess what? The container, the receptacle, catches any excess if there ever were to be someone who didn't have their wits about them and mistakenly poured and got milk out elsewhere. It goes right into the bottom so that when you pull out the milk bag after it's empty, you can check, inspect to see any milk in there.
Wash it.
Clean.
Bam. Done.
Controlled. It's really simple.
Also, cartons are the worst form of food storage.
Yeah.
I worked in the grocery store, as we all know. The biggest problem with cartons is that they are permeable. Mm-hmm. So any horrible liquid that hits that carton becomes part of the carton now. Mm-hmm. Thus, like, it doesn't actually taint the food, but it taints the experience of using it. Mm-hmm. So what would happen is somebody would, like, it's always the same. Somebody would go to the milk aisle, open the milk, smell it, fucking spill it in the process over all the other milk. Now all that milk is useless because who wants to buy that shit?
Of course.
No one.
Also, people who go on all these people are going on about jugs. Jugs as a platform for the milk. I don't know anybody that buys their milk in jugs. Quite frankly, I feel like most people I know that's generally probably too much for them to get through on their own before
you
it
buy
goes.
a 1 liter jug though.
The smaller jugs.
I bought 1 liter jugs.
I don't see those as often at my local groceries. I don't see those. I see the boxes, right? I see the cartons.
I like a good 1 liter jug.
And I see those bags. And you only crack a bag open when you're ready for it.
Yeah.
You don't crack a giant jug open and
I
then
can drink
wait.
a bag of milk right now.
Sure you
like
could.
One whole bag.
But the best part is when you finish the bag, there's another sealed bag.
The sealed
And
forever.
you get to crack that seal when it's ready, and
It's
not
like eggs.
And it's not like you have to get through half a jug and then sit and wait for the rest, and then it all goes bad. Dump the whole thing.
You want to know the distinction between bagged milk and not bagged milk? Imagine when you went to the store, you had to buy one egg that was 12 times the size of a regular egg.
How much egg do you want?
And then when you're like, okay, I'm gonna make some eggs. Okay, you crack it. Oh, now I gotta somehow just put 11 eggs worth of giant egg back in the fridge.
And now we all know, of course, you're probably thinking, but wait, hold on a second. The expiry date is the same no matter what, right? Wrong.
No, because the expiry date changes the instant that shit opens.
The moment you open it, it is now on a faster death clock.
Much faster.
So you can't treat it the same.
The expiry date, okay, let's break it down. The expiry date on food is not absolute. It usually can go a day or two or whatever after.
It is
as long as it's sealed.
It is a suggestion, yes. Exactly.
Okay? But if it's not sealed, you are starting a new expiry date that depends on the food. With dairy, it's pretty fast. It's pretty fucking fast.
And on that note, I should probably let Hunter, HTM Executioner, know that they got us a lot of really delicious jerky that we took back home, and the packages were opened so that we could taste the ones we wanted.
Yeah.
And we brought that shit back, and it all went off.
Oh, yeah?
It all went off.
I thought jerky was immune to this.
I thought so, too. But unfortunately, it doesn't.
Okay.
Opening it was a problem.
I see.
People are people are a little bit blown away at the idea that the date works for being sealed, but the opening changes things. It totally does.
If you could have like a fucking dairy product that's good for a
cheese.
year.
Open up some cheese or keep some cheese sealed, and then
like cheese will last forever sealed.
Watch what happens with the mold. All right,
immediately.
And count it down, and then look at it and go, how do I have a block of moldy cheese even though this has a month left on it or whatever?
Because you opened it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's the actual, is because it also depends on surface area and air. So the worst. You ever buy those little shredded cheese, pre-shredded cheese packets?
Not often.
Okay. Do you know why you don't buy those often? Those go bad within like 2 days.
Oh, because
the surface area is so large. They go bad instantly. So when you get them, you fucking cook with that shit right now.
Yeah.
Or throw that in the trash. Throw it in the trash.
The pre-shredded cheese, though, it's a waste of money. Like, they charge you more for less cheese. The bag seems like it's the same size, but if you buy a block, it's just a consistent, fully formed cheese.
Well, you can do what my grandma used to.
The density. You're not paying for air.
You know what you can do what my grandma used to do. Take a knife, scrape that shit off. Still good.
Yeah.
You got relatives that did that?
We have relatives that did that. Not a fan of that.
I am astonished my mother lived to adulthood, considering the stories of grandma's cooking.
What I did learn to do was scrape the black off the bread, right? If your toast got overdone.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
It would be like, just scrape the black off.
That's just charcoal.
Yeah.
It's just,
well, you know, so that was a normal habit, but cutting the mold off, come on.
So I'm seeing people say, do it, it's fine. Oh, is it? Because we're talking about cheese right now, but I could easily move this discussion to, Mom, my pork chops are green. That's fine. Just scrape the green off and we'll cook them again.
Yeah. I remember the exact time that I ate a hot dog and got food poisoned, not knowing what the texture of a hot dog that is no longer okay is like. Yeah. And there's a film that I will never forget. I will never ever forget. And now that I know what that film is, like,
when you mean film, you mean
a texture to the hot dog, not a film as in a movie.
Yeah.
All right. And
a layer.
There's a layer, and now you will know exactly what it is. And if it is there, you will die. You will die. Don't fucking do it.
Now, hey,
food poisoning takes you one.
Before we get any clearer, I have to make a very obvious point. I said mom. I was pretending to be my mom in the past. My mother grew up knowing that this shit is poison and never, ever, ever poisoned us with this shit. Grandma's the poison one. Grandma would...
Now, I know that I'm the same person who will tell an anecdote about Carlin and his buddies playing at the river and taking that big old rock and throwing it because the layer of sewage from shore to ocean is way too far out, so the rock would penetrate the sewage, and then they would take turns diving into the clear water created by the rock because the hole was big enough for them to get in, and thus they built their immune systems up to never get sick. I would never do that.
No, that's a bad idea, actually. It's fun to say, but not good. Not good to do.
Let's probably take a quick word from our sponsors.
Let's do that. What wonderful sponsor do we have this week?
This week, the podcast is sponsored by the Raycon E50 wireless earbuds.
Oh, really?
Wireless earbuds. It's 2019, and everybody needs a great pair of wireless earbuds.
I have some wireless earbuds. They're good.
Yeah. But before you go dropping hundreds of dollars on a pair, you should check out the wireless earbuds from Raycon.
Is that a glasses company?
So the Raycon, aka founded by Ray J and celebrities like Snoop Dogg.
Okay, right? I'm thinking of Ray Bond. That's different.
No. But there were those.
Wait, Snoop?
He did have those funky glasses that like flip down and then flip sideways and stuff.
These are Snoop earbuds?
I'm saying that he was definitely involved. And that, you're looking at Raycon AirPods that start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market and sound just as amazing. The Raycon E50s, they've changed the game. They're comfortable, come in the little carrying case.
Dude, I've gone through a lot of earbuds because I prefer earbuds to over-the-ear headphones most of the time. There's such a wild difference between a comfortable one and a not comfortable one.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I've actually avoided buds for a lot of my life because I like over-the-ear as a preference. But these are pretty comfy because when you open up the box, there's like 7 or 8 different adjustable sizes.
Usually you only get like 2.
Yeah. There's a whole row of different sized buds to try out so that you get the size that's comfortable. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. Because it doesn't have because I don't like when it's too tight.
When it's too snug, it's like, come on, I don't need that.
Yeah. The vibration is like rocking my inner eardrum. It's a little bit much. So you pick the right comfortable size. It goes right in. And again, like you're getting it at like a much reduced price from the more expensive wireless earbuds on the market. They're for everyone. They got a fun range of colors, an unbeatable price. And what you can do is you can go down to buyraycon.com/superbeast.
How do you spell Raycon?
RAYCON.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I just want to make sure.
Yes, that's buyraycon.com/superbeast to get 20% off your order And that's often already much reduced price for pretty good quality headphones, which, again, I'll tell you, from trying them out, pairing them to my phone, using them for calls, they work. The quality is good.
The quality is good.
The quality is good.
And with the overall lower price and discount from this thing, they're basically free.
I mean, no, but it is a really good deal. It is an exceptionally good deal for some pretty good quality wireless headphones. So that's raycon.com/superbeast for 20% off the Raycon wireless earbuds. And if you've been eyeing a pair, now's the time. Once again, buy raycon.com/superbeast.
Thanks, Raycon.
Thanks, Raycon.
Appreciate it.
So, from there, I guess I'll take my week.
Yeah, what up, man?
Well, so yeah.
Wait, was that week? With that whole rambling long conversation?
Milk.
Yeah. Milk's part of the week.
Milk is a part of the week.
Yeah.
Can't stop it.
Milk's cold. Keep it in the balls.
I want my milk as cold as possible.
Yeah.
Balls would make my milk warmer.
Would they?
They would.
Okay.
Wait. Real milk.
Yeah, I was talking about semen. That was the joke.
No.
The joke was semen.
No, not ball milk.
Yeah.
Real milk.
Yeah. The joke was semen.
No, I don't want.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that.
And if you do, you want it cold?
No.
But no, come on.
This is...
You have to pick a temperature.
Losing the plot. Not what I'm looking for. Talking about cow milk,
Yeah.
dairy, the good stuff.
Because I remember when I watched, what was it, Jackass 2, the thing that really threw them off is that it was warm. Because they got it horse fresh.
I will never forget when Fear Factor went that far. And they had fucking Rogan standing there going, you gotta choose between a fucking pint of piss, a pint of bull piss, and a pint of bull semen. And
a pint's too much.
It's so much. It's so much. And some people had no problem going through the semen whatsoever. You know, I would argue that anyone who's had the chance of possibly tasting it before would have no problem going through that challenge. And there was an Australian bar that served up horse jizz in a shot as a thing for a limited time. So
all right.
That's where we're at.
That's where Australia's at.
That's where they're at. I remember that.
Australia.
Well, anyway.
So what do you do with your week?
Yeah, so exactly. I JoJo'd.
You AO-tenned.
AO-tenned, we'll get there.
My distaste for that word grows daily.
Yeah, but but my taste for Kyojin is fucking in the black.
Yeah.
That is through the roof.
Numbers are good.
Especially as of this week.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel exceptionally good about the name Attack on Titan.
Yes.
As of this week.
Yeah, don't you?
Yeah. So we'll get there.
Pretty good.
Talk about that later. What did I do? I'm slowly trudging my way through Sekiro on stream, but I'm getting there.
Where you at now?
I got a little bit further. I just fought the shamisen player.
She's great.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And immediately after her, the big ghost monk. And that's pretty much where I stopped. I'm really happy that I just decided to... I was having a little bit of a hard time with her, and I hear that she follows you a really long way, and I didn't actually...
She sure does.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with that. I just went for it. And simple pattern at first, but then I'm like, there's a long duration... This is a long fight. And then I kind of decided to switch my things up, and I pulled out Sabimaru, and boy, was that the right answer. And does her in really nicely.
I like Sabimaru.
It has its uses. Yeah, has its really good uses. When the game says go in, Sabimaru is a go in button.
It's there for you, and it says, okay, I'll go in with you.
Yes. It simplifies the going in. And it refuses to pull out. It's quite nice, especially when you improve it.
It was the first of the weapons that I upgraded to the maximum.
Yep. I got my umbrella finally. And I got my monk arts.
Yep.
So we're starting to go in that direction.
One of those monk arts got nerfed in the time you were playing the game.
Interesting.
The kick one was like hands down the best move in the game, and then they were like, okay, maybe it's too good.
there's something that really is becoming a much more. It's like I already had this as a pet peeve, and Sekiro is sharpening it to a knife's edge.
Yeah.
And that is like the inability to try, not even try before you buy, but like to experiment with what you want to commit to before you commit to it.
I'm not super sure what you mean. Could you?
So the skill trees, the upgrades for weapons, they all force you to buy things you don't necessarily want. To get to the things you do want.
The fucking weapon upgrade one is really infuriating because you have to go through different weapon trees that you don't give a shit
They're
about.
shaken up and they're all mixed up. And instead of just going fire, 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 best fire, you have to go through fire, spear, teleport. Then you have to also get axe, fire.
Yeah, it's infuriating.
Kunai to get to best axe, you know, and it's like, so you're doing that with me on that, and then the skill trees are the same thing, and there
was a big disappointment for me in the skill tree system when I discovered that all the branches of the tree have to be filled out to get to something at the end of the tree, which I'm like, fuck, I explicitly took this path to avoid those abilities because I don't care about them.
Any dots connecting to the final ability must also be filled out.
It's like,
so the problem now is if that final ability is one that I'm picking simply because it sounds cool and I don't know whether I actually like it or not, the amount of points I've spent to get here mean I have to use it.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. So I'm looking at, I currently have like Ichimonji double, which is satisfying and fantastic. I've got the monk.
It's probably the most useful move.
I have the monk double elbow.
Yeah.
Right? I just got the blood slash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The blood slash is nice, but it costs spirit emblems.
And it's not as good as Ichimonji double.
No, it's not.
It's just not as good.
Right? It costs 3 per swing. And I'm just like, well, fuck. I want my posture damage, you know, and the charge up. So now I'm like, okay, well, if I have to pick one of these, and now I'm looking at the end of this chart where I see a stinger that ends in a jump.
Yeah.
And that sounds rad.
Except it uses spirit emblems.
But it uses spirit emblems.
And the non-spirit emblem version is not good.
Or you can close the distance with a single kunai and a follow-up slash.
Yeah.
Which is also like a stinger. It's more like a streak.
Yeah, what you're describing, that kunai move, is why kunai is the best of all of them. Even though it's not a hard counter to almost anything in the game.
Jumps.
Yeah, but the reaction time has to be really on point for that.
It's a gap closer.
It's a gap closer. That's what you use it for.
The projectile actually brings you in as opposed to zones you out.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. And because of that, I keep it on all the time. So now that I'm looking at this other move that I'm like, this is going to cost emblems. I don't know what it looks like yet. I'm not sure if I like it. I have to commit to 2 path branches to get to it instead of going on to monk moves. And I'm like, when I get to that point and it costs 6, you have to use it.
So in Dark Souls 3, they had the same problem. And its spirit emblems it's like the weapon arts system that they like to use.
Yes.
Sucks. It should just be gone. You should just be able to, they should tone down the moves associated with them a little and just let you use them whenever the fuck you want. Period.
So the final upgrade on the prosthetics, I'm seeing like 4 of them, and they're all the lapis lazuli versions.
That's right.
And the lapis versions are basically like use 3 or use 2 to build this thing. But there are only 6 in a given playthrough.
That's right.
So choose wisely. And I understand that.
I have a pro tip for you.
Yeah.
Pick the shuriken. And there's 4, right? There's the shuriken, there's Sabamaru, there's the axe, and then what's the last one? There's
whatever. I was gonna pick the shuriken.
Pick the shuriken.
I was going to pick the shuriken.
Pick the shuriken. And it's the flamethrower.
Yeah.
Pick the shuriken and Sabamaru.
Yeah. Hey, these guys.
Go pick the flamethrower.
Yeah, these guys are weak to fire. Cool. You can also just jump stab them. Well, right. So anyway, that upgrade tree is absolutely infuriating.
The umbrella upgrade tree is even more infuriating because it acts as hard counters to attacks that you have no option to defend against in any other way. Like, hey, get that fire one.
Otherwise,
you're gonna have a bad time.
And that's the end of that.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Hitbox everywhere.
Yep.
Oh God. Okay.
Like, yeah, you can technically get around it, but
don't be there.
But get that fire one.
Because usually the answer is don't be there when
That's
it happens.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Great Dragon.
Yes.
Ancient.
Yeah.
Right? So
get that fire one.
Anyway, so that's where that's going, and the rest is fine and fun, and I'm having a good time with it. And I definitely, when I see those palms abilities pop up, I go, this sounds like the kind of thing where you put your sword away and start using these instead, but it's not.
Yep.
And
tilt your sword a little bit, and
another downside, unfortunately.
The farther I get away from Sekiro, the more I'm annoyed by the way the skill system works.
Mm-hmm.
It's pick this one move to use, and it's like I have 30.
And the sad part is that the building blocks, the Lego blocks used to make this system are great, but you put them in the frustrating order.
Yeah.
And you locked in this sword piece.
It is essentially like a lot of action games where you have a 5-hit combo, and they give you 25 different enders, but the first 4 hits are always the same, and it's like.
And now, especially since I did the monkey puzzle, and I've got a plot sword on my back.
I sure do.
Then I'm like, well, all the more reason why any thoughts I would have had about my current sword being important are extra irrelevant because I have a plot sword on my back.
No, this thing is just a power-up.
But I mean, if I needed plot sword reasons to do things like, I don't know, catching lightning in midair and shooting it back at my opponent.
Yeah.
I'd have a plot sword for those purposes.
No, you could just do that.
But now I have even less reason to be permanently equipped with.
I think the bummer about the plot sword is that I used it to see it, and then never again, because the move that you use it for sucks.
I tried it out. Well, there's 2 moves it uses.
Yeah, well, they both suck.
There's this double swipes, and then there's the possession.
Oh no, that's you don't even need that. That's for free.
Oh, he uses it to do that.
Yeah,
though.
well.
Anyway, yeah. So really weird choices on it. But hey, whatever. They're doing Elden Ring, and they're going back to that old well again.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Just wait for more Dark Souls because you're gonna get it. Except on horseback in an open world.
This is gonna sound really weird coming from me, but I would prefer the frankly worse combat of Dark Souls just to get more equipment back. Like, it is the sword in Sekiro is so limiting.
Well, I wouldn't be having these feelings about the builds, for example, if it were a game that was clearly meant to be like, yo, you can end up being completely different from your starting kit.
In Sekiro, there's the good version of the character and the better version of the character.
If that's the thing, is because I know I'm still going to be this character, I'm you're still Nero, you're still Dante, you're still V, right?
You just have all your moves, you don't.
So like, knowing that, and I know that like, it's not going to be about replaying with a completely different style.
No, it's.
So then why make it this weird on yeah.
The sequel will be better. They will fix some of these problems, I'm sure.
And again, committing to massively expensive things that might be terrible. Like
also, remind me after the podcast, I have to actually tell you who to eavesdrop on to unlock a bunch of stuff.
Okay, because I actually, like, I saw something where it's like, yo, we got a third of a dragon mask here. It's $5,000. Do you want it?
Yeah.
Like, what does it do? I don't know. Might be worth it. Might not be. Do you want it? Like, not if I don't really know exactly. And then Min kind of explained a little bit, and I was like,
it's worth it for not you.
Yeah.
Specifically not you, Wooly.
Because I don't...
Because you're not going to be going that hard and that far.
So, but we'll see. Yeah, so that's a little bit of that. And also, yeah, finally glad to say that credits were hit on Wonderful 101.
Yay.
On that LP. So...
Did you match that button?
I didn't.
Okay.
But... yeah,
that's a good button.
It's the best button, actually. It only exists for a limited period of time, but it in fact was the best button. Yeah, hype overflowing, amazing, and new things going to be happening. But I really, just every time, I said it before and I'll say it again, every time I walk away from a session of 101, I just get hit with that sadness and anger at like how something like this can just get so scraped under the rug, and it just goes, fuck. God damn it, this game's great.
Less than 100K lifetime?
Less than 50. Around 50 lifetime. at the time that we got that number.
And like for me, going back to play it now, I don't know where my Wii U is. It's in a box somewhere when I moved.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's really just like, it's a sad one. And I know that now with modern clout, it would do a lot better. Because currently it has clout of, oh yeah, it's that game they made a while ago. I've heard of it. I heard it's a good thing, but I didn't bother looking into it.
Personal clout.
No. No, I mean, Wonderful 101 has like street cred in terms of like, oh yeah, it's that Platinum game they made a while ago, but I never bothered with it. But I hear it's really good. Like, you know how like Okami is kind of like that? Like, a lot of people have not played it, but they're like, oh yeah, I hear it's really good. But, you know.
Well, on a like if you move that over to personal clout, it's even more dire. Because, like, the ability as influencers to go, hey, yo, this game's awesome, which is something that I become very proud of if you see people get into it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, the Yakuza series is great. And people go, cool, Pat, I'm going to go play the Yakuza series. Wooly, Wonderful 101 looks great. Definitely not buying a Wii U to play it, though.
Yep. Exactly.
No. Yeah. Never.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah. It's very sad and bittersweet. And by bittersweet, I mean bitter. But unless they
there's no sweetness here.
Unless unless New Life were to breathe into it again, you know. But we sit here with bated breath.
I feel there was a comment somewhere from Nintendo going, we should really put that on the Switch at some point, like a little while ago.
I feel like that might have been a Platinum comment.
Maybe,
but who knows? You know. Anyway,
I got to experience it, and it lives on forever in my memories until I forget.
Which we're now one generation out, and it's already forgotten.
Yeah,
it's not even like a Wii 1 title, you know. But anyway, so that happened, and I also did my Mortal Kombat 11 stream this weekend. There was the big E-League tournament.
How'd it go?
Went good. Shoutouts to Dragon, who won.
That's a good name of the winner.
Yes, it is.
For an MK tournament.
Exactly, and therefore, as the now sort of sponsor of Dragon going into RTX, people are calling Wooly the mother of dragons.
Oh, I like that. You love Game of Thrones.
Well, we'll see. I might just upset everybody at the last second on the stage at Grand Finals.
Oh, no.
We'll see how it goes. But, it was really cool, really fun, and Reggie came along, and we're both like learning this game, and I'm very, very I'm really getting into MK a lot now. Like, we played for a while afterwards, and I also I'm going out to the weeklies, you know, try to get some like practice in and stuff.
Friendship ended with anime. Now Mortal Kombat is my new best friend.
Friendship ended with Kotal Khan.
Yeah.
Now Gearus is new best friend, because you know, like I described Gearus as he's the man that walks into church one Saturday and like all the unmarried 20-somethings of the church are all just like, oh my goodness, who is he? Right? Is there a ring on it? What do we got to do? He looks exactly like that kind of guy with the shaved head, just wearing a suit, and he comes in and he's,
oh no, he's the new pastor. Oh,
yes, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Brother Gearus, how you doing? How's it going, ladies? Oh. Fanning themselves with the program, the week's program of what the church study is gonna be. It's great. Anyway, but in addition to all that stuff, he's just such a good character. And when I had my eye on his moveset from day one at that reveal, I'm like, yeah, there's something interesting going on here. And it turns out it's more than interesting. It's fucking great and strong and fantastic. So, I'm definitely picking him up, and I expect him to get nerfed anytime soon. But at which point...
That's a weird feeling.
Yeah, at which point I'll pick up Kotal again. And here you go. You want a pro strat? Don't pick a top tier. Pick a top tier and a bottom tier. Main both.
Pick the character most likely to be nerfed and the character most likely to be buffed.
And then wait for it to happen. Exactly. And then make the switch and meet in the middle on it. It's just... you never know what you're going to get. With Kotal, you know, liked him last time. This time around, didn't work out. but still really like him. In the meantime, though, like I also was considering Garrison now after seeing and feeling the power of good
Wally,
moves.
I need to talk to you about the story and Kodal.
That starts literally this week.
Oh my God.
Now that 101 is done, we're gonna literally start
God.
it this week. So
I hate you.
I was waiting until we were done.
I hate it.
Now we're done. Now we find out more. We'll get there. Yeah, and that's all cool. And then at RTX, we're all gonna be out there playing some MK, having a good time, and I'm gonna be doing some games with people on and stuff. So come on out if you're gonna be in town on Austin. That's
in Texas.
July 5th, 6th, and 7th. Time
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. Apparently the exact same time as Anime Expo.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
I'm not sure.
I don't even remember.
But anyway.
I hear every Anime Expo every year.
But
too bad, Anime Expo.
Because we're going to be there.
It's RTX time.
And we're going to be doing a live Super Beast.
Yeah, shocker.
It'll be weird.
It'll be, yeah.
But it'll happen.
I mean, it's not going to be that weird.
Yeah, well, the schedule's out.
We've done panels and shit.
Yeah, the schedule's out. We're going to be there. We're doing stuff.
Oh, what day is it?
Friday.
Friday?
We're doing stuff on Friday. The 5th.
Cool.
So,
we could fuck around all weekend.
Castle Super Beast Live. That's how we do. I hear RTX is so fucking huge, dude.
Emails will be replaced by you people.
Yeah, live Q&A.
Yeah.
I hear it's huge.
Yes, I have also heard this.
So there's that. I'll be Swiffering spilt energy drinks live on stage.
You should really just do that the whole time and then say nothing, and I'll say nothing.
Perfect.
And then everyone who's in on it go, oh, man, that was the greatest panel ever. Well, what happened? Oh, I can't tell you. You had to be there.
You
had
did.
to be there.
Let's talk about the news.
I have a piece of news that's not on this docket probably. It's about that Mario Maker shit. Is that on there? So Mario, do you see this Mario Maker 2 shit?
I did not.
Okay, so a while ago they're like, hey, guess what? Mario Maker 2 will have online play. And everyone went, yay! You'll only be able to play with randoms and not your friends. And everyone went, Nintendo.
That seems counterintuitive.
They announced a few days ago, don't worry, we're going to patch it as soon as we can, probably within a week or two of release, so that you can play with your friends.
We didn't anticipate.
I guess you want to play, it's weird, but
we didn't anticipate this reaction.
I always think back to that Hard Times article about how Nintendo has not gotten any faxes complaining about their online service. Like, permanently out of touch.
How?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
At this point, especially after they've done a couple projects with Dina.
You want the bonus? Is the Animal Crossing shit in here this week?
No.
Okay. So, Animal Crossing fans, I fucking feel for you because you are getting it the worst of anyone. No cloud saves for the new Animal Crossing to prevent manipulation of whatever the fuck. Who cares?
In addition to the whole Pokemon fiasco?
In addition. So, hey, Animal Crossing, you know the one game on that system that would be the most disastrous for you to lose your shit? You know the game that's about getting things? No cloud saves for you, because we don't want people manipulating bells or fucking whatever the I don't know what you would manipulate in Animal Crossing. But it's not a competitive game. It's not even a fucking game you win. Who gives a shit?
I don't
Who gives a shit?
understand. I don't understand because, like, why is there a permanent out of touchness where, like, I don't, like, why, like, how is there not at this point someone there going, these are bad ideas and these are not how people play games online?
Well, I can tell you the actual real answer to that question. Because Nintendo... Okay. Do you remember the article by a North American network engineer that went over to talk to Nintendo about the Wii U's infrastructure in the lead up to that?
No.
I forget where it was. It was on Eurogamer or something. And he basically described walking into meetings and going, okay, so Xbox Live does this, so we want to do blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he was taken aside by somebody, one of the leads of the infrastructure thing. Stop saying Xbox Live. Stop saying Steam. Stop saying PlayStation Network. No one in this room uses those services. We don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Right? And these were the heads of the infrastructure department.
Now, this was when?
5, 6,
5 years ago?
Yeah. So then, all of those people stayed and are still there, and so is the board, and so are all the leads. Like, think about Miyamoto. Think Miyamoto knows anything about online, whatever? No. It's like a 90-year-old man.
But the whole thing is eventually you hire someone that does so that you don't have to know.
You hand it off to a different company. You don't hire people to fix it. You don't hire people to teach your people. You just give it to the different company.
Like Dina?
Like Dina. And then you keep all the people that are out of touch before are out of touch, but just most of the work is being done by other people.
Like, with a product like Splatoon, right? Like, they had no choice but to kind of figure something out. And it still was the most...
What's the something they figured out? There's no cloud saves in Splatoon.
No, not cloud saves. I'm talking about online.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The online in general. And, like, it's just weird to think that, like, they have it in this functioning state, even though there's that, like, hook your phone up to the online service to do voice chat thing as well.
It's the worst.
And I'm just thinking about
Have you ever used it?
No.
It's the worst,
But
man.
I'm just thinking about how, like, Xbox Live back on the Xbox original
in 2004
had some huge growing pains, but more or less ironed them out. And then 360 came along and you're like, oh yeah, that's online for games now on consoles.
Yep, done. And Sony tried to do it and didn't do it as well. But they tried, and they tried to do the same thing. And you're like, oh, they're just not as good.
And it took them another generation.
And then you're like, oh, that's bad.
And now it's just, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Online for games, cool. Mute and online and connect and
yeah, done.
Service pay whatever.
And then Discord showed up to give that to the PC.
And Nintendo's still lagging on this. And it's like, there's a very clear template, and in fact, it's now a decade old.
Yeah.
For how to do this properly.
Well, hey.
If the technology was too expensive at the time, it can't possibly still be prohibitively expensive.
It's literally people who don't know and don't use this and have never used it. It is that insular tribal shit that you saw sometimes at Microsoft. But at Nintendo, it's like a fucking cult.
Because at some point, I thought it was, we don't want to pay for servers, right?
No.
That early on, that's kind of what I was like, is that what it is? You know? And then it was like, no, because they have like things like the Pokemon Bank that they rolled out, and they have like...
Which is a whole other discussion.
It is a whole other discussion. In fact, it's not a long one, you know? But
I have stuff to add to that.
But ultimately, what all of this news results in is just like, it's...
permanently out of touch.
It's current year,
yeah.
And we are still talking about Nintendo's online problems, and I'm just kind of like tired of it.
Even outsourcing to a different company barely helped.
I remember exactly the reaction we had when it's like, oh yeah, they brought in Dina, and we were like,
oh fucking finally, Jesus Christ.
Well, we were hoping you'd get your shit together, but hey, I guess they'll tell you how to do it.
And the answer appears to be no, they can't. Like, the cloud save thing for Animal Crossing, like the cloud save thing for Switch is so fucking stupid because, let's be real, what is the likelihood, Wooly, that you will lose your PlayStation saves? Somewhat low, because the power has to go out and they get wiped, or somebody has to break into your house and steal it, right?
Yeah.
What's the likelihood that, I don't know, you lose or have your portable device stolen and the saves along with it? I don't know, relatively high. It happens all the time. Not to you or me, I mean, but like, yeah, people's Switches get fucking stolen. Or they break, or they drop them under a car, or whatever. Or they leave them at the doctor's, you know, some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most important one to have cloud saves.
On the game where it matters the most.
On the game that it matters the most.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Animal Crossing fans, you're having fun getting your whatevers? Don't take the Switch out of the house. Ever.
So this Pokemon one is basically
We talked about it a little bit last week.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah,
but there's more to be talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not all Pokemons will transfer over to Sword and Shield. I got a lot more data on this, and it is basically they're saying that the animation of the new Pokemon is more time consuming than expected, and that we should prepare. It is a design shift that it is likely that you will never get all Pokemon in a Pokemon game ever again.
Okay.
That you will get the regional dexes of that game only.
So I read what was positioning itself to be a leak.
Yeah.
Did you read the
I did
same
not
thing?
see that, no.
Okay, so apparently, and like I don't know how legitimate this is.
Whatever. It's grounds for discussion on the real stuff anyway.
I suppose, right? But like, without going too far into it, because I'm like, until we get this confirmed from another source, we don't know if it's bullshit or not.
Yeah.
But the leak was apparently from someone involved with the way this game was being made, and they basically described that models and things in game were being inefficiently handled.
The thing with the clouds.
Duplicated from region to region.
Yeah.
Like literally textures are being used more than once. Literally, like entire Pokemon data was being used more than once, and in some cases, the clouds in the background were duplicate models because when they go into whatever special mode,
the big mode,
the clouds in the background represent how many turns they have left, and so
so instead of making separate cloud models, they would make a version of the Pokemon that has 2 clouds and a version of the Pokemon that has 3 clouds.
Now, again, super sounds like it could be made up bullshit.
It does sound that way. However, it is known that there are characters and shit in Sun and Moon that have different models for different facial expressions. Okay. So rather than having the facial expression change, they swap the model.
Now, it's kind of crazy to be in a world where we're criticizing Nintendo for programming practices when like problems are arising as a result.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's like you'd think they'd have it down more tight than absolutely anyone else in this entire industry.
I have a bunch of friends who are Pokemon champ, whatever. Like these, I have 2, maybe 3 friends that have living dexes. Like the living national dex sitting in Pokemon Home right now.
Yeah.
Which people are now calling Pokemon Jail.
Okay.
Because they can't be taken out into the new whatever. But so I have resources of people to ask about this shit, and I've been talking to them a lot, right? You remember, Willie, do you buy every Pokemon game?
No.
I don't either, right? But every couple of games I dive back in. And every time I'm just kind of astonished at how little has changed and how little it moves forward. The tipping point for this isn't even that not all Pokemon can be transferred forward. There's a lot of people out there with teams that are very specific. They've had for 20 years, stuff like that. Of course, for them, that's the biggest thing. But it's when Game Freak comes out and says, listen, it's really hard to animate all of these. There's too many, right? There's so much of that is so obviously bullshit that's what's causing the pot to boil over. Because in X and Y, they overproduced the 3D models in Pokemon, specifically so that they would be future-proofed. Remember X and Y having frame rate drops all the time?
Yeah.
That's because the models were too high quality for the 3DS.
But they also made every previous Pokemon.
All of them, right? And they dropped double battles and triple battles and shit like that because the engine couldn't handle it on the 3DS. But hey, we have this new model. It scales up. It's future-proofed, right? Mm-hmm. And they did that for all of it. And that's a shit ton of work, right? Mm-hmm. And now it's being said, well, no, that wasn't enough work. And the main thing that comes down to it is animation. They're saying we're putting a lot more animation into these things because with Pokemon out in the world, they have to animate walk cycles and flight cycles and stuff like that, right? But the showing they showed at E3 looked really bad because Pokemon are essentially... Clemps did I think he did a video on this, or he talked about it on Twitter, that ever since they moved to the 3D models, Pokemon don't have stances and moves anymore. They're basically just locked into perennial A poses for their Pokemon. They stand there, and then they do an attack, and the model moves forward, and a sprite appears on the other character, and that's the attack. And they're basically all super rigid A-pose 3D models.
I remember the exact moment that the dream died for me when... Oh, yeah, double battles were totally in.
They took out triple.
But I remember when the dream died when I had my Blastoise with Seismic Toss from Blue, and I brought it forward into Pokemon Stadium, and I wanted to see a giant fucking grappling move, and it still wasn't that. And it still just ended up being a weird, like, whoop.
The funny thing that you mentioned about Pokemon Stadium is that Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 are being used to kind of shit on Game Freak, because those were GameCube games made by other developers that had shit tons of unique animations for hundreds of moves across hundreds of Pokemon. Graveler has like a unique like mud attack that only he has. Everybody has a unique death animation. Everybody has a unique tackle animation. Stuff like that. And it's like, this was made by a fucking outsourced studio like 15 fucking years ago.
Coliseum.
Yeah, Coliseum. Am I saying Stadium?
Yeah.
Is that not the...
Coliseum is Stadium was early as N64. It's literally my fucking next to the Yoshi up there. It's like Game Freak has been making the same game over and over and over, and they keep crying poverty when it's like Pokemon is maybe the biggest IP in media. It's crazy. It's wildly huge.
And for people that have, let's say, fuck it, you really like the ice cream cone Pokemon. I don't even remember its name. And that's your main. And it's like, you're not being told it can't get in because we want to limit it or whatever. You're being told, like, we just don't have the time or the whatever to do the animations. It's like, that's bullshit.
You said no to Skylanders. Pokemon said no.
Oh, that's true.
To Skylanders.
They totally did.
Spyro said yes.
Yeah. And look at what happened there. Like, it's bullshit. Like, it is a... Remember back in the 360 era when all those Japanese companies were, like, fucking floundering because the setups they had didn't lend themselves to HD development? You remember that whole fucking fiasco that tanked a bunch of Japanese companies for, like, 10 years?
Yeah.
Because it's Pokemon... They got to dodge that for like a decade.
Are we at the point where, and it might be a little ridiculous to say, but it's like, you know how like Game Freak is basically like the Pokemon company, like they're basically just that's what's up. It's almost like should someone else be involved and or running the show?
Well, there's a really weird situation with that, which like, so there's a non-DMCA compliant version of Pokemon out there that you can use to battle that always gets updated with the new moves and all that. You know, it's basically just a battle simulator. I forget the name of it. Somebody in chat, please let me know. That will include all the Pokemon, which means it for people that like the Pokemon versus battle shit, it will be objectively better.
Shodown.
People are saying Shodown, yeah. It will be objectively better in every way than the official titles.
Right? I mean, it was the point. The same point was brought up last week, but yeah, you built a franchise on collecting things, so you should expect people to really care about their collections.
People have said, and this is fair, "Gotta catch 'em all" has not been the catchphrase
in a while.
Too bad. Yeah. It was on the box for a bunch of them. The anime still uses it, which is like one of the biggest things, popularity wise.
Also, is this Gen 11?
No, 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the other thing.
Gotta catch some of them.
There's there's also the idea that's like there are problems that exist in this deep in the game, and Generation 8. Okay.
8.
So
okay,
we're literally like finding there's issues that are existing in something where the only complaint should be my first one, which is why can't I look up? Right? Yeah. That should be my only complaint at this point. Everything else should be quality of life into the smoothest top-down RPG experience in the world. It should be magic at this
There
point.
are problems in Pokemon Sword and Shield that date all the way back to fucking Red and Green.
It's crazy. It's crazy that anything else besides why can't I look up is a problem at this point.
Now,
because it's such a simple thing that's come such a long way, and like something as simple as like bringing your shit forward.
So
anyway,
I want to take So there's a real feeling from a lot of people like it's not broke, don't change it, and that's fair. And hey, I like it the way it is. There's no reason to change it just for people that aren't into it already, right? They're like the typical like longtime fan against people who are frustrated, but totally right. I was into Monster Hunter before World. And everyone who loved Monster Hunter fucking complained endlessly about all the fucking about all the stupid bullshit in Monster Hunter that you just had to deal with, but it was part of the thing. And game after game after game, they refused to change this thing. Maybe they toned down this part a little. Maybe they toned down that a lot, right? But there's always so much fucking bullshit. Right? And I look at my friends who are longtime Pokemon fans, and every time a game comes out, I'm seeing them complain about the same fucking things over and over. The number one of which is, why can't I skip this fucking 2.5 hour tutorial? I know how to catch a fucking Pokemon.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And then Monster Hunter World came out. And I had people that I remember arguing with going, they ruined it, they casualified it, whatever. It's the most in-depth Monster Hunter game ever. It is the best Monster Hunter game ever. It is now the most popular game Capcom has ever made. Shut up. There is no reason to just leave problems for decades just because it's the way they're done. Fix them.
So we know now, especially because we've talked many times about stubbornness in certain franchises.
Yeah.
And
I think I could sum it up in like one sentence. I don't want it to be better. I want it to be the way it is. And it's like, it's frustrating. It's like when I play something that I really care about, I don't enamor myself with it so much that I don't want it to change. I want it to be a better version of what it is.
Yep.
But people don't want it to change at all. At all.
And so like something else, like people talk about, like, you know, like where Digimon goes and things like that. And it's like these other franchises that are never going to make headway in this
space that Pokemon owns.
Because it's Pokemon. It is the Pokemon space.
Yeah.
You know? And like, you care about some of those fucking little critters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you like
That's Pikachu!
Yeah, and it's the reason why you might dive back in at some point again.
Yeah.
But the idea of there being botched generations is really fucking
Let's bring it
shitty.
back to Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Tri and fucking 3 Ultimate have swimming in it. Hey, Wooly, did you swim once in World? No, you know why? Because that mechanic got fucking junk because it's garbage. And it wasn't in 4 either. But they wanted to try something crazy and new for 3, so they added swimming. And it was a fucking disaster, and it made parts of that game way worse. But in 4 is when they added the mounting shit. Guess what's awesome? Mounting the monster. The new slinger shot shit they're adding, part of it has to do with mounting the monster, part of it has to do with causing flinches. Hey, that looks really good. But what if we just kept it like it was in 2G? You wouldn't have got it. You wouldn't have had the horrible swimming, but you also wouldn't have got it, I don't know, mounting, climbing.
I saw
shit,
saw an article or two that was basically named like Iceborne improvements mean we can't go back.
Yeah. Have you been following it?
I haven't.
It's like a sequel. It's you know they gave Nero's Devilbringer to everybody, right?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And when you hit somebody with that clutch claw attack, that part of the monster is weakened and glows, so everybody beat on it.
And it's a universal hunter item,
Yep.
Piece of equipment now.
In addition, everybody gets new moves that in the middle of your combo, you can fire off your slinger to cause a flinch to stop them from interrupting you.
Skill moves.
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
It's awesome.
Iterating a franchise over so long and somehow still coming up short on things as simple as that.
It's things as simple as this.
It just...
Oh, the other thing that is like, maybe it's not fair, I don't know, but the E3 build of Pokemon had monsters A-posing as walking animations constantly. And in some cases, they looked like it was supposed to be that. There's Wingull. You know Wingull is like a seagull? It doesn't flap its fucking wings when it flies, because it glides. But it just means that the monster is literally A-posing as its form of movement. It's like, that's the good animation we need that we can't get fucking Bulbasaur in the game.
And,
like,
and what actually... And just last thing is... This game, we've known about it for a little bit now. It's been in development for a while, and it's as we're getting news as it gets close to release that this bad news comes out.
Yeah.
And not like early on in when like people can make enough of a complaint to say change that shit.
Oh, it's way too late.
Right? We're looking at the ramp up to release, which is what this whole like
also
well, it's just... It's like, this is stuff that, like, your fan base is going to be loudly upset about that probably you could have maybe talked about earlier and almost even gave yourself time, you know? But, of course, you have to push the game back to do that.
There is a quote that says, hey, we're working as hard as we can, but there's only so much we can get done by the release date. And it's like, oh, right, because there are movies that come out. There's the new season of the anime that comes out. There's an entire merch line that has to come out. And it's like, the Pokemon turned themselves into what is essentially a movie franchise. It has to come out every 2 or 3 years, and it has to come out on this fucking date. And no matter what corners you gotta cut, it's gonna hit that fucking date.
This is a solved problem. You delay the game until it's ready.
No.
We've solved this problem in the industry
delaying
a long time ago.
Pokemon is not an option. It's just not. It's just not. Now, there is a real option here, which is throw more money at it.
Hey, do you want to drop a Shiggy quote that's relevant?
What's that?
I think you can read my mind.
Oh, what's that? A bad game a rush game will be bad forever, and a good game will eventually be good. Or a delayed game can eventually be good.
Yes.
By Shigeru Miyamoto.
The guy.
Yeah, the guy who's screaming at them to get Pokemon done by a certain date because money. I bet Miyamoto feels that way about his projects.
I mean, I guess it's like if someone has to come and factor investors screaming into the equation, the situation gets complicated. Bowser is now on the line, you know, but as it is, this is one of those situations where it's like, look, it's very clear what people do want, and you should probably just get it in there.
So I look at this, and I think the reason why they said you're probably never going to get another game with all of them in it is they look at the deadline stuff that they're in right now, and they're like, we'll never be able to add 100 Pokemon, animate them all, and then bring all the other ones old into it, ever. The timing on the work just doesn't line up. And part of that is because their development processes are laughably the fuck out of date. And they're still living in the fucking DS generation, essentially. And part of it is they will never get longer to make these games.
Well, what I actually am wondering is how much say does, like, Nintendo's yelling have over Game Freak?
The structure of Game Freak is so fucking weird. Because Pokemon is split 3 ways. Between Nintendo, Game Freak, and something else.
The Pokemon Company.
The Pokemon Company, right? It's goofy.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Everything about it is weird.
Well, anyway, continues to be strange. And again, the idea of botched generations coming out where people go, meh, skip that, wait for the next.
Yeah, except this time, they're saying the next one won't have them all either.
Yeah.
Or the next one.
Well.
Or the next one.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this if this is really important to you, is this just time to stop?
I mean, depends on how the hardcore fan base reacts to it.
I don't know.
I suppose. If they're like, I'm gonna stick with what I got.
There's also people that are into the competitive aspect that are like terrified because Pokemon is not balanced. And picking picking 15 of each type to throw into the game can likely end up with like, all right, here's the meta. It's 6 Dragonites. Right? Or it's whatever.
Yeah. Well, anyway, hooray for Nintendo Online.
Hooray for Nintendo. Always on top of things. Cutting that bleeding edge.
Yep. This, and if we, this new online world of digital content is sure a doozy.
It's exciting.
All kinds of surprises around the corner.
Like what?
Well,
I actually don't know where he's going, so I'm kind of excited.
we might have hinted a little bit the other day about, or joked at the fact that Minecraft was being delisted.
I did joke about that. Better get him now.
Because it's going to be gone forevs.
Well, hey, Wooly, do you have $1,300 to get them all now?
Well, hold on a minute there. Let's not jump the gun.
Okay.
So, Minecraft Story Mode being delisted? Yes. Also, other Telltale games delisted and also possibly not being able to be acquired again? Yes.
Oops.
Right? Probably got to jump on those before that deadline coming up soon, I believe in July.
Yep.
However, on the Xbox 360, when you purchase something, you are able to always go back to your history and download it. Even games like I want to say like TMNT got pulled, and like I want to say Sparkster, a couple of things out there where it was like
gone poof.
Yeah,
Oops.
but you can go back to that because it's like it's still on the server somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Deadpool.
Because you bought it.
You bought it.
It's yours.
So
usually works that way with most stuff. That's why PT was such a big deal.
Yes. So what happened now was because they removed it and then people were not able to re-download it. That was like a first because it was like, that's not how the way the 360 store
people
works.
saying like Scott Pilgrim that happened too.
You
can't re-download it.
Pilgrim. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So 360 games usually you can, and in this case when you can't, it's like what the fuck? That's not how it goes. So with Minecraft, what they did was to fix this problem. They relisted it, but they priced it at $100 per episode
to be like, don't buy it. It's
as
too
a
expensive.
real price.
It's a ripoff, except you can still buy it.
Yes, it is still fully listed, and it is there, but it is their way of basically trying to say, hey, don't buy it. This is just
but
so
also if there's some stupids out there, just make a little money.
So I mean, it's hard not to think that, because that's literally what they said. Like the Minecraft Story Mode on Facebook, a special message. You may have heard that they'll no longer be supported by game servers on June 25th. And it was removed from sale. So to stop that from happening, we've relisted them, and they're all up for, what does it say? They're all up to deter new purchases. They will be relisted at a very high price. The price shown is a real price. Please do not buy the content. Price. And please do not buy the content. If you do, you'll be charged the amount shown. And the amount shown is $100 per episode. It's so weird. I've literally never heard of anything like this in the age of digital content.
Do you want to do this? Here's how you do it. You list the price as fucking $100,000, a price that I'm sure the store doesn't even support at checkout, so that it can't go through.
But what if it does?
Yeah.
And someone's parents look at their credit card bill and just die. They look at the bill and they just fall on the ground, and that's the end of their life. Like, what if?
This is trash.
Because they happen to have a card that went that high. You know? You can't even play with that. You can't even play with that fire. This is the dumbest it's ever been.
This is the worst.
And this is basically the throwing the food out of the grocery store that you can't give to the hobos in a way.
And charging it.
Because you can't charge $0.
Yeah.
You can't give the game away. Right? You can make games get cheaper and you can sell them for $1.
Yeah.
But you can't give it away even if it's being delisted.
And you can't not let people buy it. What are you going to do? Not let people buy it?
People have already bought it.
What? Oh, it's so stupid, dude. It's so bad.
Putting it up there for $0.00. Why would you do that? That's crazy. Yeah. This is
bullshit.
This is only possible in this era, in this age, in this era that we live in. Walk into a store and see a game up there for a price that's like, please don't buy this game. We made it extra expensive.
I'll sell it to you.
I will take your money,
but don't.
But please don't.
Yeah.
This is just meant to be a box to show everybody that the game is here.
Stop trying to buy. You bought it.
Well,
I told you not to.
Here's your receipt.
Have a good day.
Hilarious. Awesome. Better get on that.
Also, this is also like I'm not a lawyer, but like selling it at a deterring price is not the same as delisting it.
Yes, that's correct.
That's not the same. That's not whatever agreement they have is asking for.
But
so they're losing on that respect as well.
And the deterrent price is just low enough to still be something that can happen.
That a child could buy.
And not high enough to become like we're going to get inundated with calls.
Yeah.
But in that range.
Oh, yeah. Just
deterrent price.
Just deter it a little.
Just outside of what
just
it would be. Even though there are games with that come with special editions that are asking you for like $120.
Yeah, well, hey.
You know.
Hey.
Yep.
What are you gonna do? Not let them buy it?
Well, anyway,
we're in a store here.
Yeah.
Fucking so stupid.
We got to see a little bit more of Astral Chain.
Yeah, we did
at the Treehouse special after E3, and guess what?
What?
This game fucking JoJo's.
Yeah, it's a JoJo game.
It JoJo's. And if you ever wanted to see a proper version of what an action game in Platinum style would look like with
stands.
With a stand actively around you doing what stands do, and you occasionally co-oping together, this extra footage shows you a bunch of that.
Footage looks really slick. I'm very impressed.
It does. Shoutouts to character creator. Shoutouts to the artist. I forgot his name, but artist behind Video Girl Eye and Zetman and such. Still very, very generic anime in terms of like how hard the looks go.
Yeah, the only thing that's not is the color.
Yes.
The color really pops. But it's like anime.
But when the combat starts going and you see you and your stand doing your thing and you kind of have these co-op moments and then you separate again, it looks really, really good. So yeah, Astral Chain gameplay, Nintendo Treehouse Live. Go check this out if you haven't seen it. It's Platinum doing what Platinum do. And yeah, happy to say that like between seeing like this, between seeing that Grand Blue game that's not out yet, you know, and whatnot, like they're still fucking kicking it out, man.
Oh yeah,
they're still kicking it out. I was really worried at some point that, you know, the whole Clover into Seeds into Platinum experiment might end prematurely because Guns for Hire just wasn't cutting it anymore. Mm-hmm. And now we're getting news about them having their own IPs, and it's very exciting that Nintendo has went, oh yeah, these guys.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Platinum's gonna do just fine.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, these guys. You know, and the problems, of course, that come with things like Bayonetta and
the weird licensing with Bayonetta.
They're getting out of that zone by getting into their own IPs. Really fun mechanic here is the chain between you guys, the Astral Chain that links you to your stand. You can use it to actually like hook around enemies and like
choke them,
attack off of it and whatnot. Like it's actually a part of the.
Is that using the Kingdom Hearts font?
I wouldn't recognize if it does.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and there's your ranking and whatnot. So check that out. This game's probably going to be rad if you want to be a cop with a stand in a super anime-looking world.
I'm actually really impressed by the reflections.
Yeah.
Like, the floor is very shiny. All of the time.
I had a little talk with them earlier about, like, how there's a type of, like... And there's a type of like character, like thing that happens when like character faces look too like you know, like kind of like that Code Vein sort of like.
I do.
Yeah.
3D anime.
And it's not distinct enough.
You mean Honkai Third Impact?
I mean Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Where it's like I wish this was more distinct in its art style.
No, it's anime. We want it to be anime. Anime.
Well, anyway, the game looks great.
It does.
You know what's another game that looks great?
No.
Untitled Goose Game. But, unfortunately, we have some bad news regarding Untitled Goose Game.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because you can reset the clock.
Oh, no. It's another Epic Game Store exclusive by Untitled Goose Game.
Every week, we delve deeper. Because this is becoming a pattern now.
Oh, yeah.
The claws of desperation sink further and further into the things you love.
They want to buy it all up, man.
And bleed them dry as they claw them into their own domain.
Yeah.
So, just like we've seen with everything else.
I'm fascinated that Doom Eternal is not an Epic Games exclusive.
Now, the word exclusive was not used, however, in terms of PC, it seems like it's going to be.
That's what we mean.
That's what you mean when you say it. Well, so yeah, earlier this week, House revealed that the fun and funny stealth title Untitled Goose Game would be launching to PC via the Epic Games Store, leading to some fans to express disappointment at the decision, which is just the latest disgruntlement surrounding the PC gaming platform. And they basically replied and said, House is a small... So the tweet they put out was, Goose News, alongside the console launch later on this year on Nintendo Switch, Untitled Goose Game will be making its Mac, Windows, and Windows debut through Epic Games Store. Immediately followed by a follow-up tweet saying, a little context, House is a small independent studio that's been operating on a tight budget for years, so a partnership like this gives us a means to make games sustainably for the foreseeable future. In an industry like ours, that kind of stability is huge. So the announcement of the Epic Games Store exclusivity for the PC on this game was immediately followed by the explanation.
So I actually...
that the payout was super good.
I have... is the Samurai Shodown shit this week?
It's the follow-up to the story.
Okay, because I want to talk about that because there's an obvious... there's obvious context here for, in particular, small developers, right? So the other follow-up part of the story is that Samurai Shodown
well, then fine. Let's just crack that nut.
Was apparently approached by a certain unknown
PC exclusivity deal.
Yes, from a certain download service on the PC. And they were straight up offered the cost of hundreds of thousands of copies of Sam Show just to be exclusive on that platform.
But Nobuyuki Kuroki, that motherfucker that was hanging out at PAX that we got the games in, looked him in the eye and said, Hyaku Mega Shock Neo-Go. And they went, what? And he fucking slashed, and their life bar disappeared.
And he said to them, why would we take a PC deal for hundreds of thousands of copies when we're gonna do
sell
millions? And everyone who reads this story goes, you stupid fuck. Sam Show isn't gonna sell millions on the PC.
But you have to love it, though. You have to love the... So, like, everyone's like... They're like... Epic Games is, like, exclusive? And he's like, nah. And everyone's like, oh! And he's like, 'cause of the mountaintop. And you're like, you mean Everest? And he's like, nah, the moon, though.
Everyone's like, oh.
What?
So here's
the explanation being that level of fucking... idealistic hubris is the best.
So
I love that.
Here's the part that context fades in, because I have seen little snippets of information that have come out about the Epic Store where developers have said we could literally sell fucking 0 copies, or we could refund every single person who kickstarted this the entirety of the amount and we'd still come out in the black. And we look at this, in which we have a number now, right? We have somewhere between, for Samurai Shodown,
they revealed
a pseudo niche fighting game, right? That they were being offered somewhere between 150,000 and 300,000 copies, right? Of just money. So let's say 200K, right? For Untitled Goose Game, for Supergiant with Hades, for the guys doing Outer Wilds, etc., right? For any independent company in which this one title is whether or not you eat this week or not.
Yep.
Yeah, take the deal.
It's hundreds of thousands.
You'd be irresponsible to take the deal because it's your livelihood, and it guarantees that you will not go broke.
Your studio, and it's almost like the EA buyout.
Yeah.
Except it's on your one title.
Yeah. Take the deal. I feel nothing but of course. You would take that deal. What, are you going to not take the deal? Like, if somebody said, hey, we'll pay you for 2 years of the podcast in advance.
Right.
But you have to only talk about these subjects. It's like, that's a tough deal to throw down because holy shit. Right?
Or only be on a certain platform.
Spotify.
Not even, no, we're on that. But like, even on a particular platform, of which there's a couple of those now that are a little bit shady and weird.
If we didn't have Woolly Versus or Pat Stares At, and it was all podcasts, and it was like, I don't know, maybe the podcast is iffy. Like, yeah, maybe, because being broke is scary. And when you talk about all the Kickstarter, like, right? But then...
Here's what sucks, though. You're tied, if not chained, to something that people hate.
Yeah.
And now...
It's a devil's bargain. It's a Faustian bargain.
And now you have to figure out how to navigate this new territory where people were originally just excited for the fun thing that was going to come out.
Now they're mad, too.
But maybe they're... But how many people were originally going to buy it?
Totally. And it could hurt the IP in the future.
What's your gamble?
And that's why I look at stuff like Doom. And Doom is confident in Doom. So they're not going to do it. And in fact, I bought it on Steam already. So, right? But here's where it gets complicated. So for, let's say, Supergiant and Untitled Goose Guys, and even if SNK did it, right? Because SNK's not in the best place, right? That's one thing.
KO14 did really well.
That's one thing, right? But that's not the ones that make people really mad. The ones that make people really mad are Obsidian and Gearbox and Deep Silver, everything to do with Deep Silver, right? In which you're like, there's a real publisher behind this. Paradox Interactive is behind this.
Hades bummed me out.
Right? Yeah, but that's like 14 people, and they make indie games.
My favorite.
Yeah, I know it's your favorite, but you can understand those people.
Of course.
When it's Shenmue, owned by Deep Silver, and Deep Silver has shits millions of dollars, and there is absolutely no worry of, people going bankrupt.
So here's the gamble, though, right? And this is actually where the story can change in the future, depending on what Epic does, right?
Yeah.
If they got their shit together and made the store not suck,
this argument becomes less off, like, horrible.
It becomes, in fact, not even an argument.
Have you used the store? You personally?
It's abysmal.
It's so bad.
It's literally the worst one.
It's so bad. I link all my Epic games through the Steam launcher because it's a bad launcher, too.
I said it a couple weeks ago, and I'll say it again. My first attempt to use it was with Hades, and installing it and then booting it up showed me a window which was not loading. I thought it was loading, and then 10 minutes later, it was like, no. This is the launcher, but you can't see anything. The buttons are all invisible. You have to find what to click on to get to navigate to your game list. And
bad launcher.
It's awful. It's fucking awful. So
it blows up so big. I have to scroll like crazy to get to anything.
I would rather use PS3's PSN.
Wow.
The old one.
Wow.
At least I can see the buttons.
I make this joke a lot, but I would honestly rather use Blades than a lot of stuff. The Xbox 360 Blades.
The first ones?
Yeah. They were fine. Yeah, it was, hey, I like that.
I really think that that all of these games now that are chained to they're to the hands of Epic, and Epic is clearly willing to burn all the money on these exclusives to pull you over. They're like, we're gonna get what you want. One of these things you care about, we're gonna get all of them. And
then you'll be in.
You'll be in.
And the answer is no, because the instant this shit stops, everyone will have that launcher to play those games, likely routed through Steam or Origin or good old games too, right? And go right back to playing it on the service that works. In fact, Epic Games, one of the only reasons that people actually tolerate it is because they can link it through Steam, which works.
Mm-hmm. If we're a season from now,
yes,
and still this is the tone.
Well, the shopping cart's supposed to come this year.
If we're a season from now, if it gets crisp outside and the leaves are falling off the trees, and we're still talking about this,
we will, absolutely.
Then, Epic has completely and utterly fucking
fuck the dog. Yeah, absolutely,
1,000%.
But hey, it's funny
and you fuck over a bunch of companies or titles, I should say.
It's funny because they're willing to throw what appears to be infinity dollars at indies and infinity minus $1 at big titles, right? Like Borderlands is probably the biggest one they yanked.
Instead of the store,
And it's like
itself.
you could have taken the money that you offered to Sam Show and just hired more web and UI staff, and that fucking shop, dude. For them to have the shopping cart as long term, I am sure there are interface or web designers that are listening to this right now, because there's a wide swath of people. There's doctors listening. There's military folk listening. I am certain somebody, at least one person listening to this, knows what would go into building this store, right?
Yeah.
How big can the team on that possibly be?
Okay, so there's literally a career. It's called a UX artist or a UX specialist.
Yeah.
And they're called in for user experiences.
But, like, for the store to be progressing at this rate, how big can the team on that possibly be? Like, 10 people?
Well, here's the funny part is, do you remember when Microsoft rolled out the 360 update that was the in-between? It was the NX, right? There was the blades. Then there was the one right after the blades. Then there was the one that was kind of like everything was on a diagonal kind of scrolling at you iOS sort of layout before we finally got to the one where it's just a bunch of Metro type squares.
Yeah,
right?
I remember, yeah.
And the ones where everything was coming at you was really confusing and bad.
Yep, sure was.
Terrible. But hey, it had your avatars jumping around the whole bunch,
Which was
right?
the important part.
They had a lot of articles. I remember a big in-depth look at like how they came up with that and how they had a full team dedicated to what people respond to, what people like.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole process
Yeah.
of like testing public opinion on things and like almost like sciencing where the eye goes, how you
here's
look,
the thing.
what you want to travel to.
Microsoft does that because Microsoft's obsessed with that shit. And I believe that Apple does, and I believe Nintendo has literally 0 people who do that, and Sony has a couple guys, right? So while we've been talking, the chat has responded with people that would know. The overwhelming consensus is that the Epic Store appears to be like the UX people appears to be staffed by somewhere between 2 to 5 people and maybe a couple interns. But in terms of the output of feature content.
But it was profitable enough that they had to roll it out before it was done.
Yeah.
Just to start getting in the not Steam dollars.
If it's 2 to 5 people, right, and you're willing to give Samurai Shodown, what? I don't know, a couple million fucking dollars? Yeah, hire 5 more interns.
I mean, doesn't that just, if anything, show though that like it's super worth it to get, even if you're not ready for the market, get the store up and running.
Yeah. In
its most basic shitty form.
Absolutely. And also, the sale they just did, games were cheaper.
Also Fortnite, no?
Yeah, also Fortnite.
Like, isn't that the basis for this entire conversation?
Also Fortnite, yeah. This whole process is using the Infinity Fortnite dollars to put a foot in the door for when Infinity Fortnite dollars are gone.
This hate circle jerk of Epic is tiring. Is it?
No, I don't think it is.
That's a shame.
In fact, I think if that was true, the internet at large would have gotten tired of it, but they really haven't. So it's a smart plan, right? Use your infinite Fortnite money to build something that will last longer than Fortnite because it's a broader thing. But like they're doing it in the the most hand-to-mouth way possible. Just do it. Just do it more. Just do it more. And it's like, no, build it, man.
And every time
build it.
And like this is now creating negative press around these games that wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
For example, Goose Game had nothing but, oh fuck, that game looks hilarious.
And now it's like, oh, but
right? So
like Samurai Showdown's gonna sell a bunch of copies from people who don't give a fuck now.
Millions.
Well, not millions, but like I'm gonna double dip on Samurai Shodown for PC, not as a reward to them telling Epic to fuck off, but because that attitude is endearing. That attitude is really endearing.
It was really funny that popped up, and the fact that they actually spilt the beans on it too.
Like I feel really strongly about like the confidence of that team and how proud they are of the game they're making.
You feel strongly about the confidence of the team that created Darly Dagger?
Yeah, I do.
How about that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But they're very confident.
I have feelings about that. Yeah.
It is great to see developers
Pat,
talk about.
I didn't even get to the meat and
Okay,
potatoes here,
all right, let's
because the quote itself is, "I know there's a big expectation from the outside as well as the company, but I'm confident in the perfection of the game." Samurai Shodown.
So it's really, I think people who play video games and follow the industry, if you want to call them fellow gamers or whatever, these people are fucking raised on cynicism and pessimism and can smell bullshit real good, right? I remember when Microsoft would trot out their robot humans to tell you how excited they were about things. Everyone would vomit their blood into their blood bucket. And no.
Those same robots would go play Nintendo games on camera.
Right. And like, wow, it's really like,
yep.
Right? But it's really easy to read certain sentences or whatever and immediately understand either a genuine excitement or confidence or whatever about something.
Yeah.
And when you're proud of the thing you've made legitimately, it's endearing and exciting for everyone that hears it because they can sense that pride. Did you watch the FF7 gameplay demo thing?
Yeah.
Remember when Dean came out? Was his name Dean?
The guy.
The English guy came out, and everyone was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And then he said, "All right, guys, let's mosey." And everyone went, "I love this man now." I'm really excited about FF7.
Sure.
Right? Because you could tell that he was like itching to say, "Let's mosey," and get excited. Right?
Or how about Max getting to see that demo?
Yeah.
And you're like, why Max? Why'd Max get the demo? Oh, is it because when the developers were in the room and they saw his face, they recognized him as the guy whose video they would play to fucking inspire the team whenever they were struggling with shit on the game? Oops. And his hype reaction to FF7's announcement literally inspired the team? Is it because he's that guy? That might be why Max got into that room.
Right? And this is a tangent. This has nothing to do with the Epic Store, but it's your pride and your genuine excitement means something.
Fuck yeah, man. That's so cool. That's so cool that happened.
You know what's the opposite of that?
What's the opposite of that?
Magicians. Who you can tell are just full of shit every time they open their mouth.
That's not where I want it to go.
You want to hear a funny story?
I want it to go into more FF7 news.
I have it on good authority that Randy Pitchford was walking around the E3 show floor swathed by bodyguards, refusing to make eye contact with people and acknowledge their existence, as bodyguards would literally push people out of his way so that he could pretend he wasn't at E3. And how do you know he wasn't making eye contact? Because he was walking through crowds staring at the fucking ceiling so that no one could come and talk to him or ask him a question that he didn't want to answer.
Come on. Is there footage of this?
No, but I have it on first-hand account.
Was he shimmying and dropping fucking USBs as he walked?
No. But he was walking at a brisk pace through crowds, staring at the ceiling, and with bodyguards pushing people out of his way so that he wouldn't bump into them, so that he could get from place to place through the public as fast as he could.
Randy No has evolved into Randy Y.
I know exactly why. You know exactly why. Randy's been accused of a bunch of shit very overtly and publicly and legally. What is that symbol? I don't know.
The magic thing where you pull your thumb off.
Oh, yeah. Like, what the Claptrap voice actor is throwing down. He stole all this money from the retirement fund. He throws punches at employees he doesn't like. And all this shit. And by the way, have you noticed that since that accusation of stealing all the money and throwing down, like, Randy has disappeared from talking? He doesn't talk anymore. All the Randy news went away the instant that legal things started to appear around that.
Yeah, you know, a company doesn't need to have one person being their spokesperson. They can actually have anyone else do the job of talking about
literally
their games.
anybody.
It's kind of interesting how that happens.
So I see a situation of like, don't let people talk to me because I can't say anything because of the impending prison.
But hey, da da da, hey, da da da, hey, da da da, hey,
you guys like magic?
Da 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 da.
Oh my god.
Yikes. Well, anyway,
You want to get some FF7 news?
I do.
Yeah, let's do that. That's good news.
I wanted to talk about the part where Square Enix, even the story's been updated, but Square Enix says we don't know how many episodes FF7 Remake will be.
It's either 3 or 4. It depends how long they extend some sequences and curtail others.
Basically, what they do know is at the moment, Midgar is Midgar. That's part 1.
Which I think everyone assumed,
It's
right?
the most logical conclusion.
It makes perfect sense.
It is the bookend at the point of the
chapter
beginning
1.
of the game.
Yeah.
What comes after that
Is it like, where does that part end?
remains to be seen.
Does it end in Before the Golden Saucer with Dyne and Barrett and that stuff? Maybe. Does it...
I mean, I don't remember the pacing, but I do feel like the next logical place to conclude would be Nibelheim.
Okay, that's far, though. That's actually quite far.
So then...
Because...
Like, I don't remember how many hours are between
here's
exiting Midgar and Nibelheim.
Here's the thing you have to do. You have to, Midgar, you have to go Nibelheim flashback, which is a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's a massive part.
It's a big chunk, yeah.
They're
going to elaborate the shit out of that flashback.
Yeah, they sure are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Nibelheim flashback, got it. Midgar Sormer, the snake, getting through the caves with meeting the Turks. Not that big of a deal. Everything to do with Junon. Everything to do with Junon.
The cannon, yeah.
The parade,
Yep.
the cannon,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Costa del Sol, meeting Hojo on the beach,
Hojo
like a
on the
weirdo.
beach. Yep.
The town underneath Golden Saucer with Marlene's dad dying.
Oh, the shitty town,
Right?
the dirt village, yeah.
Right? Golden Saucer. Big fucking thing.
Get win.
Right? Then it's Cosmo Canyon.
Okay, you're already past enough. Yeah.
And then it's Nibelheim.
Then it's Nibelheim. Okay.
And Yuffie is somewhere in there.
Anywhere on disc 4, no? Or disc 3, rather. Right?
What's that?
Anywhere.
That's still disc 1, man.
Yeah.
Because then it goes Nibelheim, then Cid, then Wu Tai, then Temple of the Ancients, then City of the Ancients, then end of disc 1.
You know,
that game's big, man.
4 would not be out of the question.
That game is really fucking big.
4 would not be out of
the
the
question. It really wouldn't.
Like, going down that list, like...
Because you got to do Nibelheim twice, too.
But the problem is that, like, I'm remembering the story beats.
Yeah.
And that entire run has no big story beats until... Like the end of the first Nibelheim is a big beat.
It's the big chapter beat.
And then you go low key for a while, but I guess you can say Dyne. Could be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Dyne could be the ending point of this.
Because Dyne's a big deal with Barrett and the kid.
Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Right?
And then it's Dyne to Nibelheim, and Nibelheim, whereas Nibelheim starts part 2.
Yeah.
It ends part 3.
Yeah.
And then Cid's the start.
And then live stream caves
Cid,
and fucking...
And then all... But hey, don't forget, you got Temple of the Ancients, the Journey to North Cave, Assault on Midgar.
North Cave itself.
Here's the part of the game everybody fucking forgets about. Dealing with Meteor and the large materia, which is a massive part of the second disc.
All the weapons.
All the weapons. Back to North Cave. Back to one of the weapons. Like, that game is so fucking big. There is so much shit in that game. I forgot.
Isn't there a Wu Tai visit at the end?
No. You do it at any time you want.
Yeah, I did it late. That's
but you
why.
could go back to Midgar, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, I forgot Gungaga, which is Zack's hometown, which is in between Dyne and Nibelheim. I forgot that.
I don't even remember it all. That's gone. Yeah.
FF7 is so fucking big.
Okay. How, like...
We're going to be excited for FF7 Remake shit the entirety of the PS5 generation.
Will Knights of the Round be the most expensive moment in all of video games?
No.
Are you sure?
And
are we literally going to see a fucking movie play out when you call them in?
I don't mean to sound like a broken
and then you put X8 on that shit.
I don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but there is already a modern version of that summon, and it's a boss fight in 14.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
and it is a boss fight against all of them.
Oh, that's cool.
In a row. And then you get to the phase change and you get hit with the big blast and then the screen shatters.
That's really cool.
You should just watch it, like the 6-minute version after this. It's fucking dope. I imagine
super sick. I imagine a big part of 14 is just like extended fan service for
the
all
last
of the games.
Boss of every game is the ultimate something from somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, the last raid tier was all old bosses. There's a big fan service element.
Nice.
But like I already know what a big fucking fancy version of that looks like. The other problem is, like, for summons, like, they gotta be shorter, man. Like, every game after 7 was like, we have to make these fucking things shorter.
Oh, I think we're gonna be getting the 15 versions.
Maybe. Yeah, that makes sense.
We're getting
some
active.
I don't know. Yeah.
You know?
Controllable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And or skippable.
Yeah. Because remember in 8 when they're so long that you have to mash the button to make them better?
Leviathan flies out, and then Shiva fucking...
Can you get it up to 250? Can you mash up to 250? And then in 9, they're like, you'll see the full animation the first time, and then you have a 1/8 chance of seeing the full animation every time after that because they're so long.
I have problems with 8, man. I have problems with 8.
You have problems with Final Fantasy 8? But I have only heard good things of Final Fantasy 8. I have heard people tell me it's their favorite one.
Eden's
the next is the next raid for 14, and it's the final summon from 8. And everyone's like, yay, we get 8 representation. And I'm like, that's fine. There's cool bosses there, I guess. There's cool bosses in it.
I was satisfied with Lorenzo Kuken.
Yeah,
I was satisfied with it.
Move.
It was a cool move.
It's a cool move. Remember Blast Zone? Where you point the laser up at the space and the clouds move and then you bring it down? That's a cool move.
Knights of the Round is going to be the most expensive moment in video games.
I don't know. Well, first we got to see how the summons work. Right? Because we've seen how magic works. We've seen how attacks work. We got to see how summons work. And the first summon you get in that game is where? It's Ifrit, right?
Ifrit's the first one.
And I remember using him on a boss in Shinra Tower. So...
How about the Knights of the Round have their cutscene attack where they all ride out and do the thing?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4... Or a full fucking crowd joins the party and are all fighting.
They're all just there.
In the game as you actively battle at the same time. So you get your cutscene version and you get your practical version. Mm-hmm. And literally your party size just grows.
Yeah. That'd be good. Apparently Chocomog is the first. Something that I completely forgot.
Cash money. Cash fucking money. All right. 4 seems fine. 4 seems fine. Yeah. What is a frame rate?
I'll be able to give you a much better breakdown once they give us an hour count for this thing. Because if this game is really extended out into a full like 60 hours, then I'm like they can blow through everything after Midgar all the way to Nibelheim for real in 60.
And what about new content?
New content will be added to patch holes when they need to extend.
What about playable Zack?
That should not happen.
Not even for a flashback?
Not even for that. Oh, man. There should be a playable Zack section.
Fucking thank you.
So that you don't have to play Crisis Core anymore.
If that's the reason you need, then sure.
Yeah.
But probably
There
going
should
to occur.
probably be one playable Zack segment.
Probably going to occur.
And then you can just ignore Crisis Core.
That entire era is so far behind this. This is the new era for the new kids.
Yeah.
You bet your fucking ass playable
Can we get
Zack
a canon
will
version
exist.
of what happens to Zack that's actually set in stone, please? That character's death is so inconsistent. Every telling is different.
Playable Zack will occur. It'll be that. If not like an elaborate moment, at the very least, the last
10 minutes.
The last 10 minutes of Crisis Core will be
the only part of Crisis Core that matters.
And then you go, and then you get it, right?
That should probably be integrated into the Mako pit flashback.
Something special will be added to Great.
Oh my god, Wooly! How long is the Mako poisoning sequence gonna last?
I don't even.
Do you remember that bit
where he's all like, brrr,
and your character changes,
and you're all weird and messed up,
and you play like a significant portion of the game as a different main character? You remember that now? That game is big. Okay, you know what? Do you remember every year back from like 2005 onwards that people would say remake FF7? And they would go, guys, you don't get it. FF7 is so big.
You don't get it. Yeah.
And everyone would go, I don't care. And I think me and a couple other people would be like, no, you don't remember. That game is so big. I still want it. But that game is so big.
But it will always make its money back.
Right. And
so it's always cost effective.
That's why I always said, like, all I want is a fucking remaster of the backgrounds and clean up the Popeyes. Right.
It's the only one where you're guaranteeing it's cost effective because it's FF7.
It's
Great Gospel will have something about it that'll be a special for you
big
moment.
Special.
Because, hey, remember what we kind of got from that presentation was the idea that the people making this are the ultimate fanboys as well.
Yeah.
So they're all chalking it full of nuts.
And they're all the right people.
They're the people that know that if you're a hard fan, you're going to like basically melt at every moment.
Like everyone was so obsessed over Tifa's chest size that most people didn't talk about her overall redesign until later. Her redesign is fucking amazing. She's got fucking thigh-high spats. She's got a skirt with little skulls on it. She's got skulls on her fucking fist. She has a fucking phone charm of a chocobo and a Moogle around one of her hands.
Playable Sephiroth will have...
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're super right. There's going to be a playable Sephiroth.
Playable Sephiroth will have a full extended-ass move list that you only get once.
For like 40 minutes.
You get it once, but if you decide to sit and grind it, there will be rewards. Should you take longer than you're supposed to,
oh God, I forgot.
There will be rewards.
Oh, that's going to be soon. That'll be the beginning of the second game is playable Sephiroth.
Guaranteed. There will be shit. 100%.
Oh, man.
Dude, there is a lot.
Oh, dude, it's... Hey. But hey, let's all relax. The Kingdom Hearts 2 battle designer is the one working on this. And that's why everyone gets to breathe a sigh of relief. Because Kingdom Hearts 2 was the best playing action game Square ever put out. Ever. No question. The feeling of jumping and hitting the button. It's fun. It's fun to do.
Do you think they would have the balls to add another party member?
No. Absolutely not.
I don't think so either.
So the reason I say that is because there aren't any party members that got left on the floor. If there was a party member that they always wanted to put in, but they never got the time to do so back in 1997, I'd be saying, yeah, that person's going to be totally in the game. But they had the cast, and they made the cast, and they got everyone in there. So, no.
I'm going to make one more call, and this is going to take so long that everyone will forget about this one.
All right, mark it. Create a YouTube video and check back on it regularly. People do that for our predictions now, by the way. It's cool.
Playable Ancient Red 13 from years in the future.
No, that's not going to happen. There's no way.
Sequence.
Oh, like after the credits, instead of being a cutscene, you'll walk.
You walk yourself.
Oh, that's totally possible.
You walk yourself up to that cliff, and you look over at the world. Not fight playable sequence.
No, just like a walking.
Just a walking. Yes.
You know what? That's probably
old ass Red 13.
That's totally reasonable.
Walking up to the cliff is in your control.
You see that last shot?
Yep. And that's where it cuts.
I forgot that was the game's ending.
That's the actual ending.
I totally forgot that.
Everyone
was the game's
does.
ending.
Everyone does. Everyone does. Yep. the last thing you see.
So I've been asked this question a lot lately, and I want your opinion on it as well. Hey, I'm 20. Should I play FF7 before this comes out?
That's a question we got.
Yeah, I'm sure. Whenever I talk about FF7, it's the number one question. It's like, I have a buddy of mine, I play FF14 with him all the time. He never played 7, 8, whatever, because he's 25. He was like, fucking, okay, 97 to 20. He was like 3 years old when FF7 came out.
My answer to that question is absolutely 100% yes. Because 1, you will beat it long before part 2 is done.
Long.
And 2, you will then be sitting and enjoying all the new differences as we move forward.
Well, because the other thing that people say, and I got this a lot with Resident Evil, is like, well, should I experience the new thing for the first time, like the plot and stuff like that? And here's the thing. I would say that. I understand that if the old thing has lost its value. Old FF7 is a unique... First of all, it's really unique when you look back at like games.
Yeah.
That's a weird fucking singular thing. And it's still awesome. So yeah, by all means, go back and play it if you have any interest whatsoever.
This game is years away. The end of this game is multiple years away, if not the better part of a decade.
We will be in our 40s.
Okay.
We will be 40-year-old men.
The full FF7 original release is months of your time.
No, not even, man.
A normal person that can pop in a couple hours here and there.
Yeah, it's but also if you
not everyone RPGs marathon
right. But let me try this. If you are like, how could this game be multiple games, blah blah blah, and you're not familiar with FF7, go and play that yourself and say you play 2 hours a week, and every 2 hours you'll be in a completely different town.
Yeah.
And the pacing will be lightning fucking fast, and you'll be screaming through the story. Like, that thing moves so fucking fast.
It's the same question as, should I just wait for JoJo parts as they come out in the anime, or should I read ahead?
Do you want to read ahead? Read ahead.
If you are curious, you're not going to lose anything.
You will lose nothing, and you will gain a different thing.
Yes.
You're trading in seeing it animated as the first time for getting excited for like a whole week beforehand of like, oh, they're gonna adapt the thing that I like.
Oh, we're finally there. We're at the thing. We get to see how it's done.
I saw a buddy of mine get really excited during the FF7 like cinematic trailer because the bit where Tifa and Cloud go back to back. First of all, fucking yeah, and 2, oh my god, they put the Sahagin in that dungeon. One of the weirdest designs that just shows up in a sewer for no reason.
Remember fucking big skeleton house?
Hell House.
Yeah, Hell House.
Yeah, I have a picture fully.
Yeah.
I have a transparent PNG of Hell House on my desktop right now, specifically so that I can go, hey, remember fucking Hell House? Okay? And also, guess what? I'm going to fucking type in it Hell House card FF7 because they fucking remember Hell House 2, because here's the card for FF7's Hell House from Final Fantasy VII Mobius, drawn in a brand new art style from last year. Okay? Remember Tank Ceratops? The Triceratops with wheels? Remember Dancing Frog?
Dancing Frog.
You remember Dancing Frog?
Okay.
Here's excitement for...
Chocobo Ranch is its own
fucking thing.
Game.
Yeah.
You walk in and like you can spend the next 40 hours there.
Yeah. You mean like I did?
Yeah.
It's really crazy how we get this far away, and they have a nice blueprint for themselves because they get to look at a thing and go, what are the beats we need to hit? And the beats they need to hit is the longest list ever because there is so much about that game that is so specifically cool. You fight a fucking Triceratops with tank treads as a boss, as like a thing you're supposed to take seriously. And it's like a big deal. It's a big boss. Like, okay, well, fucking do it. What about Ghost Ship that you fight in the slums, which is a fucking floating pirate ship that is somehow only the size of your characters and has a big fat skeleton with an oar coming out of it that you fight in the fucking Sector 7 slums? That's gotta be there. That's stupid.
Chocobo incest, or we riot.
It's the only way to get. It's the only way to get the mountain one, is what I was going to say.
Full airship control over that perfect, gigantic planet.
Yeah. And the fact that you have to fight Ultimate Weapon in the air by hitting it 4 times.
Before you actually get to the fucking...
Yeah. Because it's a reference to Doomgaze from 6.
Now, like, so this all could have occurred before, but now that the we're seeing it and it looks really good.
Yeah.
You get to have the
now we get to be excited and daydream and shit. Yeah. Right? Hey, Wooly, do you know there's a secret affinity system in FF7?
What?
You didn't know, huh? Who went with you to the Gold Saucer?
Oh, yes, the dating yeah. Right. Yes, I did know about that. God, that's so long ago. Yes, there is
You ever go on a date with Barrett?
No, but I remember watching videos of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's absolutely a rank up, rank down fucking S ranks S links going on secretly.
Do you know that part of Tifa and Cloud's ending before the final fight changes depending on whether or not her affinity was high enough?
Oh.
There's so much, dude. I have forgotten more about FF7 than a lot of people knew, and I don't even know that much, right? Like, I'm glad Max got to play that demo. Mm-hmm. He seems to be into it more than anybody.
If there's one thing that's allowed to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not just expensive, but like lavishly over the top, fucking gluttonously expensive. Like disgusting amounts of production.
Like, you know how we say, hey, I didn't tell you to spend $1 million making the textures good on this. You could have just released it earlier. Stop complaining about the price of games. Not this one.
If there's one thing, Omnislash.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to make you like just put the controller down.
Well,
there's hold on to the couch.
You know, there's 2 versions, right? There's the one you do in battle, and then there's the last one you do that has a different model for Cloud.
Yes.
It has more effects.
Yes.
It has unique camera placement.
Yes.
And it's like...
I'm not talking about Omnislash. I'm talking about Omnislash.
Yeah. Like...
That needs to be... That needs to be 10 years in the making, Pat. That's a fucking limit break.
It's far away.
That takes decades to fucking get. It needs to be something else. And you can't request this of anything, but this is Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
You get to request it.
Uh-huh.
It gets to be stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think we're going to get that shitty red dune buggy?
Oh, before you did you have to fucking drive around?
Yeah, the car that can go over rivers.
Yeah.
That thing looked like shit.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like a Lego.
Well, how are you going to appreciate the steampunk if you can't appreciate how shitty the tech is?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Do you remember that batch of
Member berries are delicious.
I've never heard that.
It's South Park.
You remember that batch of time from 2005 to 2014 where FF7 was overrated? Everyone and their mom was like, "Yeah, FF7 is not that big of a deal. You guys are all just nostalgic and crazy."
Because it was undertailing, and it was the first time a game had started undertailing in game history. It's the first time that's ever occurred.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago. That game was totally as important as it seemed at the time.
Mm-hmm. 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 I mean, dude, I was a Nintendo kid. I was one of those like, oh no,
I was a Sega kid.
It's fine.
And we
got stuff too.
Fuck that! It's time for the PlayStation.
You know. Yeah, that and Metal Gear Solid 1. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
Voice acting. Holy shit. Oh hey, you see the Cloud, the old Cloud voice actor passing the torch to the new Cloud voice actor, saying he did a great job.
Didn't see it.
Good. Thumbs up. I think that is vital. And I feel bad for the guy who did an Advent Children and stuff like that. I think it is absolutely vital that they had to get a new voice actor for Cloud, because when I hear that guy, the guy who did Crisis Core, I think of mopey Advent Children Cloud, which is what they need to get as fucking far away from as possible.
What about Kingdom Hearts?
Still mopey and shitty. Advent Children knee. Gotta get away from it. That's Goku, I think.
No, wasn't it a celebrity?
I think it's Goku. I think it's Sean Schemmel, the Goku.
Hold on. Lance Bass was... Okay.
Yeah.
No, wasn't he? No, who was Squall?
Squall? David Boreanaz.
Yeah.
He's Angel.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, that's the opposite situation, where I'm now like, well, if they do an FF8 thing, they gotta get David Boreanaz in there, because that's Squall.
I heard something about Barrett and New Barrett and how basically they wanted to not... What was it? Anyway, I heard something about
Well,
how...
old Barrett's Mr. T, like, period.
Yeah. But I heard something about how basically, like, they wanted to get, like, new voice actors. Not just new voice actors, but, like, literally names that you might not necessarily recognize.
With a couple exceptions, like, the female cast is, like, Erica Limbeck and clearly Laura Bailey.
Okay,
like,
well, yeah, yes, I suppose so.
because it's like, what, you're not going to get Erica Limbeck? Are you fucking crazy?
But, like, I don't know where it came from, but something was saying that, like, they kind of wanted the Star Wars effect of, like, you know, new voices, new faces.
That makes sense.
You know, which is,
Seth sounds great. I don't know who's voicing him. But he sounds perfect.
All right.
The original Edgelord returns to edge all over you.
Hold on now. Hold on.
Wooly.
No. No. Hold on.
Seffi was the biggest longy Bishie.
No.
Edgy.
Bishie.
Very
Breaky. Edgy. Hold on.
Come on. He's got the big sword. He walks into the fire.
Big Edge. But first Bish. Big Edge, first Bish, not first Edge.
First Bish, a video game?
Okay, not same.
No, worldwide.
Not same. First Bish. Not first Edge.
Okay, but Big Edge.
Big Edge.
Big Edge.
Big
Edge defining.
Big Edge. Bish Edge. Bish Edge. First Bish Edge.
First Bish Edge. There it is.
Edgy, Bishie, Breaky.
It's perfect.
You know, sometimes I try, and sometimes they just write themselves.
I know, right?
Sometimes they just write themselves.
The other thing that you should probably play FF7, if you're in any form interested in it, people are going to be talking about this nonstop for like the next 10 years. Unless that game that's coming out in March is a total disaster, this is going to be a topic of conversation for a really, really, really long time. So I would advise to probably get in on it in
decade.
some form.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's already been a topic of conversation for the last
5 years.
Well, the announcement, but I mean, even prior to the announcement, it was everyone screaming for, please make it.
What game was it? It was Final Fantasy 13 that they had a big event, like a big, like we're selling the game, come meet the CEO of the company, stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And it was in Tokyo, I think. And the first guy in line to buy Final Fantasy 13 bought it and thanked them and walked up to, I think, WADA at the time and said, please remake Final Fantasy VII, and walked away.
Yes.
And that was a big point of like drama in the middle of the company, because it's like, it doesn't matter what we do. Nothing we do will make people stop wanting that emotion again, because we knocked it so hard out of the park with that one.
The day after the final game is released, Square Enix fades away. They were a ghost all along.
We don't need you anymore.
Enix goes back to being its own company.
Dragon Quest will continue to live on.
Hudson Soft will continue to live on. But Square will disappear.
Listen.
The building will vanish. All employees, a memory.
We can all... No, they'll never be a memory, Wooly. We can all argue till we're blue in the face about which Final Fantasy is our favorite or the best, right? I've seen really good arguments for 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 14, right? And yes, I did miss some of those on purpose. But you can't deny that 7 came out at the right time and was the right game, and it was the perfect game for its time. It was the most important one. I'm not even going to say it was the best one, but it was definitely the most important one. I probably think Chrono Trigger is better than 7, but it's definitely not as important as 7 was.
I mean, the funniest part about it, really, is that it's the Marvel combo that is Nintendo failure. That was the starter.
Yeah.
That was the mix-up.
Oh my god, the worst.
That was the starter. That was the 100%.
Oh, by the way, I did forget one because I think all of you know it, but I should say it again. Final Fantasy Tactics is the best Final Fantasy game. There. Just calm down, everybody. It's the best one.
I mean, that's not even what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the storm inside me that was set off by the words you said prior to that. And I'm still germinating on it, but yeah, Nintendo fucking up 100%.
Unbelievable. The biggest bomb.
If anyone here is under the age of 20 and you're listening to this,
which is many of you,
you might be hearing for the first time that Final Fantasy VII was originally supposed to be a Nintendo 64 launch title, and Nintendo did not have the capacity for it because they stuck with cartridges, and Square felt fucked over.
You know what? Let's expand the story a little bit. There was originally supposed to be the Nintendo PlayStation, and in fact, one got found a couple years ago.
Okay, well,
the thing exists.
Yeah, it literally exists.
Right?
And Bunny Hop found it.
And then they decided,
Slash did a video.
No, we don't want to have the deal with
Got to
Sony
touch
anymore.
it, yeah.
We don't want to have, and Sony was like, well, we own the CD technology, so we're gonna take our CD ball and go over here. And then Square was like, but we wanted the CD shit. Fucking Jesus Christ!
We literally
Nintendo.
built games. We have a game that's too big.
Spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on CG cutscenes we can't put in the game anymore.
These assets will not fit on a cartridge.
And then Sony's like, well, you know what we have? We got a CD system.
And apparently, Matsushita, a.k.a. Panasonic, was in the discussion.
Yeah. We all saw how that went.
Well, but yes, literally the fuckery.
The fumblest fumble in the whole history of video games.
Because that would have cemented Nintendo's dominance over the industry.
For a decade more.
Until
Microsoft wanted to get in.
Or Sega might have gotten a better ally.
Who the fuck even knows?
You know?
Sega probably would have worked with Microsoft.
It's literally a different reality where the world of Nintendo versus Sega would have continued for another decade. Yeah, easy. But that was it. You gave it up. And you did it again, and you did it again, and you did it again, and we're still talking about it today, about how you can't stop fucking it up. They won't drop the combo.
The same thought processes that led to the Nintendo PlayStation falling through are the same thought processes that are talking about with the Animal Crossing shit and the Pokemon shit, and in some cases from the same people.
Yet it's also responsible for their successes. So
yep.
At the end of the day, you do what you do.
It's weird.
Okay, you want to do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's fucking do it.
What are we doing here?
Chrono Trigger is better than FF7.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Come on, it's a tightly woven, perfect package.
Let's let everyone take a moment to get that out of their system.
I don't even think that's fucking controversial at all.
Well, some people are definitely gonna not.
Okay, well, our chat's on our side for sure.
Okay, well,
the average listener is like, yeah, of course it's better. But FF7 was a bomb to drop on the world, and no small part of that was the advertising campaign that was the most blatant lie ever.
You know what, Pat?
Do you remember that?
You know what? Fuck this docket.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Sure, Chrono Trigger. Better game than FF7.
Easy.
Yes. Chrono versus Cloud.
Oh, it's Cloud. Come on. Chrono's not a character.
He's not.
That's not even fair.
When he comes back when he's missing, when he's absent.
It's like, whatever. I'm playing as a different character.
He's literally just...
playing as a more interesting character now.
Yeah, he's literally just...
yeah, who cares? Whatever.
He's ellipses, man.
Yeah.
Character design-wise, definitely for me, Chrono.
Really?
Love that Toriyama.
I totally disagree. I love the fucking Steam garbage.
You like the cool? You like the cool boy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chrono's a cool boy too, but I like the chipper, blue and red.
I like the one shitty shoulder pad.
I like the headband. Yeah. I like it. I like. The
I'll say that I think that Chrono Trigger is my favorite Toriyama designs ever.
Okay, here we go. Marl and Ayla,
Yeah.
Barrett and fucking Tifa.
Well, wouldn't it be?
How do we do? Who goes where?
Well, I would compare Marl and Ayla to. Marl. You said Marl and Ayla?
Sorry, Marl and Luca.
And Luca?
Right. Who gets what? What do you go? Do you go
Compared
Barrett?
to Aerith and
Do you go
Tifa?
Barrett Luca?
Barrett. What? What is the question?
How do you? If Cloud is compared to Chrono,
Yeah.
if we're comparing side characters to each other,
Well, then Luca would be compared to Tifa, and Marl would be compared to Aerith, and Frog would be compared to Barrett,
oh, hold on a second, I didn't.
and Vincent would be compared to
You're
Magus.
right. You're right. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking about the trio and the trio.
Ayla would be.
But Eris is totally.
Ayla would be red.
Yeah. Ayla's
Right.
red. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
That's tough because Luca's the shit.
Frog's the shit.
Frog's the shit.
You can't beat Frog.
Barrett's Mr. T though.
You can't. You
But Barrett's trying to get everybody out from under this motherfucking pizza.
Glenn.
Whatever.
Glenn. No. Can't do it.
Barrett is a hardcore Black Panther eco-terrorist.
Magus versus Sephi.
Oh, that's...
Bishie, Edgy. Sephi.
Sephi wins that because you don't meet Sephiroth as a bitch 10-year-old.
But, you turn it around when he literally joins the party forever.
Yeah, but that's not... Come on, you can't... He's Vincent. He's not Sephiroth.
You walk up the...
He's the monster evil man who joined the team.
Top of the tower.
That's not the same.
Magus battle theme. Fire. Magus takes it. I don't care what you say. Magus takes it.
You're crazy.
He takes it, dude.
You're nuts.
With the triple text. The triple text.
All right.
Magus takes it.
You want to get really vicious, disgusting? You want to have a real argument? Tex or Materia?
Text forever.
Oh, you're crazy.
Text forever.
Oh, you're fucking nuts.
They're literally...
Materia has so much stuff you can do.
No. You have to understand something. You have to understand something about text. Double text, triple text in particular. Literally my favorite thing in like if you had to take my favorite things in all of video games, team members doing co-op attacks is like you can't surpass that.
Well, they would rather see a cool little cutscene play than actually control and manage his party.
Anyways.
Yes, that was unfair. That was incredibly
because
unfair.
every materia absolutely does that, right? Some of them are not fucking
fire.
simple function. Yeah, clearly. Right. Okay.
Well, see, here's the thing. When I think of Materia, I think of the bullshit I did with Materia and how much I love getting a new weapon and then having to slot in the stuff. But at the same time, triple techs are the shit.
They're
so cool.
They're unstoppable. It's the cover of the box.
It's the wrong cover of the box.
Yeah, she doesn't do that.
That's the wrong cover.
Luca's
they made
shooting
a mistake.
fire out and she's wearing a fucking cloak.
Oops.
What are you doing, Luca?
Oops.
Wrong move.
Okay.
But it's flame sword nonetheless.
Yeah.
X-cut. The fact that we still use X-cut to this day to explain two characters fucking doing you go left, I go right. Bishop, Guts, and Griffith.
They should really add multiple limit breaks to FF7.
Let's not even go there because I can't handle that right now.
Music.
Okay. The peaks are higher in 7. The overall is better in...
So I will... Umatsu always had the best tracks, but Mitsuda, who I love, by the way, he did Xenogears, which is my favorite of the Square soundtracks. His consistency is really high. Every track is good in Chrono Trigger. There are no bad tracks.
Every single
in
one.
Chrono Trigger.
There are forgettable tracks in 7.
They're totally whatever. Shrug.
But the peaks are higher.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking
like
at.
Cosmo Canyon.
Right.
The battle theme.
Yeah. Genova.
Oh, Genova's so good! Oh, it's so good! I'm so excited for a better version of that track. Oh, man. It's the best.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But these are peaks and valleys.
Whereas Chrono Trigger, it's like every moment of Chrono Trigger is like, I'm listening to good, yeah. Replay value. I
Yeah.
mean, get out of here. Chrono Trigger crushes
there's no
it a
question.
million times.
It's built on the
It's the most
concept of
replayable
you can't-
RPG that's ever
you can't
existed.
do it.
There's no question.
All right. Literally Genova.
Yeah.
Literally Lavos.
Genova.
Yeah.
Lavos is. They're both the same. They're both space aliens.
But Lavos, the more you find out about him,
the lamier he becomes.
what it represents is more interesting.
And when you look at Genova and you talk to Genova, but Genova's not talking to you, and you're crazy, that's just way more interesting.
The epoch is
I mean, that's not fair. It's a time travel.
You can't.
That's right.
You can't do it. Also,
there is one. You know what? There is one thing I will put on the epoch that sucks, and it's the structure of Chrono Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
The world maps that you encounter in CT, because there are like 7 of them, are really basic. Like the most interesting world map is 1000, because it's the one that has the most stuff in it. But
not 12,000.
No.
You don't think floating cities are awesome?
No, I think it's awesome, but I'm saying it has there's more going on in 1000.
Okay.
There's the dungeon that you go to the mountain to get back to Lean's Fair. There's Lean's Fair. There's Magus' Castle. You know, there's all this shit.
Okay.
Right? FF7 has a big fucking. It has a fucking huge world map with tons of shit. But at the same time, you go in it through a line, like it's a fucking swirly.
Okay. OST is OST. Battle theme to battle theme. They're so close.
They're really close.
They're so close.
But the boss theme in 7 crushes it. I don't remember the boss theme to CT. But maybe that's because I haven't.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Come on.
I don't know, dude.
Come on.
Boom 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 boom.
Nah.
I gotta go CT on it.
You know what?
I gotta go CT on it.
That's fine.
Battle. I gotta go.
I like CT's version of battles more because they're on the map. And it has the rising. It's so good.
Seven's better.
Seven's
better.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Robo. Who the fuck would?
Kate Sith?
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Or Sid.
I don't care. Robo's the best. Robo's the best party member in Chrono Trigger.
Ayla takes it over Red.
Yeah.
Free.
Really?
Yeah. Ayla, dude. Prehistoric waifu.
Yeah, I don't know.
Her whole Dino episode is
Dino snitch
shitty,
shit.
stupid.
It's terrible.
Though.
It's the worst part of the game.
It's literally awful.
Yeah, it's quite bad.
Kino sucks.
Kino sucks. Hey, Kino, you suck.
Red's a good boy. Red's a good boy.
Yeah, Red's great.
But Ayla, man. She's got a club. She scratches.
How do you feel about... Because I feel like Chrono Trigger's endgame is way better. Because it's go do a personal quest for everybody and you get rad shit from it.
You're traveling through different eras. It's more interesting no matter what.
And... Sevens is a lot of optional stuff that you really don't have to do. It doesn't link into anything.
And actually, before North Cave, it's kind of just...
Yeah.
You're meandering to get to the end.
Mm-hmm.
CC ends way stronger. Way stronger.
All right.
Until you go inside, and then you got to fight the alien.
Here's one for you. And this is going to be spoilers for both games.
Oh, fuck off.
But they're from the 90s, so fuck
off.
Death versus Mako poisoning.
Death.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, here's why. New triple text. New text?
I actually meant from a story perspective.
Oh, okay. Because functionally, it's like, oh man, Chrono's gone. Time to learn some triple text with the rest of the boys.
Yeah.
Because Chrono couldn't get on the bench. And now that Chrono's on the fucking bench, we can do new shit. Like Delta Strike.
Yeah. I prefer Mako poisoning though because like in CT you have a built-in like you're time traveling. Okay, we can fix. You can fix it, right? Yeah. When Cloud gets Mako poisoned, he's fucked for a while, and it appears that he'll just be fucked. forever. And he's drooling in a wheelchair.
From a story perspective.
Yeah.
I guess the thought of death is that you know it's not going to last.
Yeah. Whereas the Mako poisoning, you're like, oh, man.
But then you fuck with time to do it.
Yeah.
Omnislash versus Luminaire.
You might be surprised, but I actually think Luminaire is better.
It is. Higoku's it.
And
your main character, it's like, oh, is he going to do a really cool sword thing? No.
he's just going to blast you with
He's going to
light.
jump to the middle of the screen and just emit energy and nuke you.
And it's the best. It will never disappoint.
What's the most optimal version of magic? Just blow it all up. Just fucking
Extend force from my body. Go.
Luminaire
Luminaire's great.
takes it. Luminaire takes it.
It's also something you can use all the time and is always good, whereas Omnislash is a special occasion.
Luca's backstory versus Barrett's backstory. I'm going to say Barrett's.
I mean, if you're talking about the story, I think 7's story overall is a lot better because I just prefer that type.
It has sophistication.
There's a lot more going on.
It has sophistication that Chrono Trigger didn't have at the time.
It's Back to the Future in anime.
For sure. A lot of what feels good about Chrono Trigger is inside your own head.
Like Barrett and Marlene is probably more deep than anything in CT. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I remember being a little kid and being like, I'm like, oh, that's weird. Marlene looks nothing like Barrett at all. Huh. And then it's like, oh, because of all this shit. That's all nuts. And then it's like, oh, wow, Barrett's the best dad ever. And Dyne is not. Most people forget how bad that Dyne storyline goes, man.
Yeah. And we can't compare visuals, but we can compare art.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd coin flip that because while I'm not a big fan of Toriyama's art, I think CT is easily the best he ever did, and especially with color.
It's so lively.
Yeah.
And fun.
Yeah.
And every piece of art from it is just bursting with tons of color.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I look at 7 and I'm like, man, that steam crap
yeah.
aesthetic.
Yeah,
like,
that shitty train
that
pulls up.
Steam garbage. Look,
you,
I don't want to call it steampunk.
You jump off of that shitty fucking train.
And it's filthy and awful.
And everything's garbage. Yeah, they embraced it. They're like, no color, actually. This is all shit.
Well, the areas that are shit, because it's supposed to be like, look, this shit sucks.
Diesel punk?
Diesel punk is good. I like that.
Yeah. When FF7's grimy, it's fucking grimy. Then again, the future is pretty colorless in Mode 7.
And if we're going to talk villains, like villainy, I think CT's biggest problem is that its primary antagonist is an alien hedgehog.
Force of nature.
It's a force of nature boss.
So until it representing a thing that's going to happen, just it's a moment in time as opposed to
a person,
a literal alien entity is way more like interesting.
Yeah, but at the same time, it doesn't hit me because there was no moment in the game where I'm like, hey, Lavos, you piece of fucking shit, I'm gonna get you. Okay. Whereas when you talk about the Bishie, Edgy, or more importantly, in my mind, actually, when you talk about Hojo, and you're like, wow, Hojo, you're a piece of shit. I can't wait to get you.
I just thought of one and it's stressing me out.
What?
It's stressing me out. Okay, because fucking obviously Safer Sephiroth, right? Like, obviously, like, you know.
You mean Seraph Sephiroth?
Seraph Sephiroth. Excuse me.
Probably. I seriously doubt it's supposed to be Safer.
Excuse me. I thought, anyway.
No, it is called Safer Sephiroth.
Okay, but
I'm just assuming that it's supposed to be called Seraph.
Sure. Obviously, right? But just before we put that down without even looking over at the other side, what you're looking at on the other side is World Revolution. As you travel through different backgrounds.
Yeah.
In different times, including the end of time, with that one fucking dude under that light post. And you get pulled into the smooth jazz and then back into the chaos of World Revolution when it picks up. World Revolution is such a good song. It's such a good fucking song, man.
Traveling through time.
It's got no vocals in it, but god damn it, is it so fucking good.
Traveling through time in the boss fight is pretty unbelievable as a setting thing. But for me, personally, it was a way, way, way bigger deal to be fighting with the entire crew at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the only fight in the game where it's like, guys, this is really important.
Yes.
We have to do this.
Fuck this game system.
Fuck the system.
Yeah.
The whole party at once.
Yeah.
And
But dude, like the leitmotif comes back in deep into that song, and your whole party's there doing it, and then you get the Lavos scream, and you're just like, you've never been more present. You know? It's so hard to just throw that aside because you know, Sephiroth.
Yeah, but at the same time, holy shit, this thing has vocals. I'm gonna jizz my pants. Because it can't be underestimated that it was the first time you ever heard vocals in a fucking piece of music in a video game. For most people.
Yeah. And it
sounds like shit now when you go back and listen to the track. Holy crap, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, you can't beat that. It's not going to be beaten. It does take it. But I'm almost mad that it wins because it wins so free. Because it's historic.
It's a technology advantage.
It's historic. It's exactly. It's like you literally can't beat that. But I just don't want to it's World Revolution came in and it fucking taped its hands up and it got beat, but it got back up there. You know what I mean? And it Dempsey rolled for a while and then it still lost because Sephiroth fucking
brought a gun to the boxing match.
I was going to say turned into the Dempsey roll and reversed its motion and hit him as he was moving into it. But yeah, he just shot. He just shot World Revolution and it died. You know, it's not even fair. God, that song, man. All right. And it'll never get remade.
No, it won't. Luckily, it's perfect as is. Whereas 7, because of the way 7's story worked, you always looked at it going, you could do so much more now, right? Because the story, like Cloud and Tifa talking on that windmill, right? Mm-hmm. You could do a lot here with just a camera. Mm-hmm. When you look at CT, nah, man.
You have to
This is a fucking cartoon.
You have to rewrite the game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need a big fancy camera. Mm-hmm. Glenn's like, hey, thouist motherfucker, I'm a knight. Let's go get him. You're like, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like I said, it's in your head.
Yeah.
Because it's sprites. It's RPG Maker or not, but like, it's like, yeah, you'd have to rewrite the dialogue. You'd have to reframe these scenes.
CT comes out and it's ideal. It is exactly. It's like, the platonic the version of the shadow version, which is real, and then there's the ideal version.
Yes.
Chrono Trigger just is its ideal version. I would change nothing.
But the moment you have to take a fight like Zombor on the bridge, and put the camera somewhere to make it interesting.
You're right.
Or fight the dragon on the thing as you escape from jail.
CT's perfect. When we played 7, right as soon as new technology happened, you're like, well, you could do 7 but better. There's nothing about technology that would make anything in Chrono Trigger better. It's perfect. It's fine. But 7, you could do all sorts of shit. Look, you see how hot Heidegger is?
Inferiorities can be, early 3D tech.
You seen how hot he is now? In the original, he looked like me with a big fucking long black beard.
Oh, get ready for Rufus.
Oh, man.
Get ready for fucking Rufus, dude. With the fucking little
You mean Daddy Shinra with his fucking cat?
He's gonna be a pretty boy.
The gun?
He's gonna be pretty.
I want Palmer to be a sphere. Because Palmer's that guy that's eating butter at the meeting. Because Palmer's a fucking shit.
Reno and Rude.
Those dudes have been perfected by their later designs. Just put the AC versions of them in there.
Omake for the visuals.
Oh, you got the Popeye versions.
These are the perfect designs right here. The original fucking goofy ass proportions. These are the winning designs. It doesn't get any better than that.
Oh man, you know what I just thought of? One, Scarlet's gonna be the bomb with the red dress. But more than that, do you remember the gameplay mini
For
game?
audio people, I have 3D printed versions of the Turks in their stubby ass proportion versions.
Do you remember the mini game of Tifa versus Scarlet, the bitch slap down?
No, I don't.
It's on Junon when you're trying to escape, and there's a mini game where you and Scarlet are timing slaps against each other.
Yeah, so Chrono Trigger, I can't think of any moments like that are gonna. There's no big whoopsies I can think of in Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
that need to be addressed as much as 7.
you're just like bitch slapping Scarlet for like a solid minute, and it's so crazy because Scarlet slaps Tifa, and Tifa's like the strongest physical person in the world, but instead of fighting Scarlet, she goes right to just bitch.
Yeah.
Just fucking slap.
But we'll never get to see a big 3D awful Dalton.
I don't want to talk about Dalton.
We will never get to see Dalton.
No,
in all his
I don't want
anti-glory.
I don't want to talk about Dalton because the stuff they added to the DS version combines with little details in Chrono Cross that makes Dalton the worst thing in Chrono Trigger, and I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want Dalton can go fuck off. When you beat Dalton on the airship, he left. End of story.
We don't have to go there in this comparison. This is original box versus disc original disc.
Hey, better sequel. That's a joke. They're both terrible.
Lol.
Haha. FF8 versus Chrono Cross.
Hey, box art. Art. Awesome, incorrect piece of art showing the wrong move being done by the wrong person.
Versus one of the most iconic images ever.
Or, alternate take, nothing but a logo.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
We didn't get nothing but a logo.
I know, but my graphic design fap loves that shit.
You like the FF9 box art then, for Japan.
I also like the empty Metal Gear Solid case as well.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a big fan of, like, this is the logo.
That being said,
is what it says.
Cloud standing in front of the Shinra building.
Yes, of course.
Aces.
It is. But I remember just seeing the first one, seeing the all-white one, and just going like, oh, the confidence.
Oh, I got one for you.
The balls.
This makes me think of something. Title screen. They both have very similar title screens, which is a single object.
The clock for free.
The clock or the sword.
The clock for free. The clock for free.
I really like that sword
on
a black background.
The clock ticks on the beat of the song that plays. Tick, tick, talk.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Come on.
You're right.
Every time. It's the thing that gives the goosebumps every time you pop the game in and restart it.
Yeah,
whereas you stop thinking about the loading screen or the title screen in 7. And then you also get the what is it, the crystal theme, whatever it's called, the Final
Prelude.
Fantasy. The prelude, yeah. You get that.
It's the rising staccato. I think
it's a part of a franchise, you know what you're getting on that.
Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't, come on. No, it's got to be the clock. All right.
I think we're good.
I think we did.
Boy, those games are great.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, they're super awesome.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a couple other things on the docket, but
anything really cool?
We can talk about how awesome the new announcement is for, when you strike while the iron's hot, you can get yourself a TurboGrafx 16 Mini coming soon.
From Konami.
The TurboGrafx 16 Mini, aka PC Engine Mini.
By the way, the TurboGrafx is a piece of shit.
The PC Engine, however. Yeah. The games list includes...
It doesn't include Bonk.
Yeah, it does.
It does?
In Japan. The PC Engine has Bonk on it.
Fuck yourself.
The TurboGrafx does not. But it has Ys 1 and 2. It's got R-Type, Ninja Spirit, New Adventure Island, Dungeon Explorer, Alien Crush. But PC Engine has Bonk. Fucking Chino Rondo.
Yeah.
Right. Dungeon Explorer, Superstar Soldier, China Warrior, and others. And Ys 1 and 2.
Fucking...
Yep. It's a better list.
Fucking piece of shit.
It's a better list. Anyway. So there you go.
Wow.
And I guess the only other thing I was going to bring up was... No, wait, there's two other things. One, it's just... SNK can be simultaneously your angle and your devil. Because here we got the King of Fighters for girls is, I'm going to say, in the running for worst title for a video game of all time. And infinitely missed opportunity, not unlike JoJo's The Last Stand.
Wait, is that actually called King of Fighters for Girls?
The King of Fighters for Girls is the name of the video game that SNK has announced. And this is a game in which you will date various King of Fighters characters as Kyo Kusanagi will Moetaro his way into your heart, and Iori Yagami will blood riot in the bedroom, and everyone gets all intimate and steamy. Andy Bogard leans his head on your shoulders as he's so tired from training.
Wait, are you playing the girls?
You are playing a girl who works at the same gym as Kyo Kusanagi, and everyone is pretty. Everyone is gorgeous. Everyone is full otome.
I don't know who should be more annoyed by this game's title. Girls or gay dudes?
Or anybody?
But like...
Or literally anybody.
I'm just like...
It's...
Of the two groups that are this... would be most obviously interested in this.
Now, here's the problem. Simple Brain says, yeah, that's a dumb title, right? Here's the problem.
Like...
The real that's fucking, you know, you're keeping
Why not both? You guys are right.
You're keeping it low IQ.
This is the
You're keeping it low IQ. The real beef is the lost opportunity that they didn't call this the King of Lovers.
No, you can't call it that.
Why?
Because it's King of Fighters is the brand, and you need to have the brand.
Queen of Fighters is also a thing they did.
That's the brand for fighting games. It has to be King of Fighters something.
King of Lovers.
No, that's
Same
not.
font.
They don't own that. They own King of Fighters. Like, you're right, but like,
or you just do it.
Also, this is the worst title ever.
It's actually in the running for number one.
I can't even think of anything that
it's
for matching service. Haha.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
no, like really?
Yep. Takes the cake.
Oh, you know what? I know who gets to be the most annoyed by this. Girls that play
King of Fighters.
King of Fighters.
Yes.
Already.
Yes.
They get to be the most annoyed.
Well, it's you know, unless they're too busy playing heroines, playing KOF fucking heroin fighters.
That Jesus.
You know, they might be too distracted getting those outfits in that game.
Like, I know, like, haha, Japan, blah, 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 but, like, and usually we're just like, oh, anime, or oh, Japan, or oh, what. Fucking come on!
SNK heroin.
It even sounds like shit!
It's very bad. It's very difficult. The difficulty of this title is very high.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Totemo Muzukashi. Why?
Are we going to do the interview where they're like, well, we know girls are too dumb to play fighting games, so we made a dating sim for their ovaries.
Behold.
Like, is that the quote that's going to come out?
Behold a sweaty K-Dash.
Oh, he's really hot, though.
Lying on bed, shades off, so you know he already did his SDM.
Are you sure this is for girls?
He already did his SDM, and he just needs to relax. Hey, Kula's nowhere in sight. Someone's got to sponge him off. Hope you're a girl.
Wait, Kula can't sponge him off.
She's got gloves.
She's got ice.
She's got gloves.
But also, they're siblings, Wooly. Weird clone siblings.
No. Whip is his sibling.
Okay.
Whip is the sister.
Whip is the sister.
Kula's not a sister.
Kula's just a weird clone baby.
And she's got the ice. For girls! Super Smash Brothers for girls!
Look, you can bake in it.
Final Fantasy VII for girls.
Final Fantasy VII is also for girls. It's like Final Fantasy is for girls. Like, I remember growing up and being like a teenager, and if there was one game I could expect girls to be playing, it would be Final Fantasy.
Uh-oh, here comes Skullgirls for girls! It's the dumbest.
It's the worst.
But I'm equally mad because I really wanted a game called The King of Lovers. And now we're not going to get it. So here we are. And
I can't even think of a title even close to as bad as that.
So,
like, Infinite Discovery and all those things, they're like nonsense words or whatever, and like the Kingdom Hearts subtitles, but like, holy shit.
All right, let's take some letters.
Hey, if you want to send in a letter, you can send that to Super Castle. What's the email? I forgot. CastleSuperBeastMail@gmail.com. That's CastleSuperBeastMail@gmail.com. You could send us some emails for girls. We'll still read them. Does Punch Mom know about this fucking title? Is this not the funniest thing in the world?
Yo, Steph. There's a video game. It's called The King of Fighters. It's a pretty cool fighting game. They're making a new dating simulator version of it where you can date the characters. And it's called The King of Fighters for girls.
You know what? It's like Big Pen for girls.
Oh, yeah. There you go. They already do this with deodorant and, like, shampoo, right?
Anything else.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Gotta get that.
Thank God they write for girls, because otherwise I'd be too dumb to know.
Obviously, clearly. I mean, you can't be using a man's pen. What are you doing? The fuck is wrong with you? What is this? Anyway.
Does this mean when girls show up to KOF tournaments, they'll be like shuttered away into the for girls section where they have to play dating games?
Unless KOF 15 is called King of Fighters for guys. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Yep.
All right, what do we got?
We got one coming in from Ryan. He says, "Howdy, Paxton Martin and Volts Woolgan. Going to college in Michigan State University, and I want to say, if you have any advice, I got a piece of advice from Psychic Pebbles to college students. He said, always do your laundry on Sundays on the Sleepycast. Do you guys have any tidbits of real advice behind that wall of Street Fighter button combos and big band trumpet song memorizations? Thank you.
Wear a rubber.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say
Don't not wear a rubber.
okay. Well, sure. I was gonna go in a different direction. I was gonna say, don't do your groceries when you're hungry. That's a bad idea.
That's the worst thing you could ever do.
When you do your groceries,
Other than not wearing a rubber.
groceries hungry is a problem because you buy too much food because you're too hungry to think about what you actually need. Don't do it. You spend too much money on groceries if you buy hungry.
Yeah.
So don't buy hungry.
Also, you
Play
know that,
hungry.
if you get that weird feeling in the pit of your stomach when you meet that guy, you know, the friend of a friend of a friend, and you're like nervous around them, and they're like, don't worry, man, he's cool. That guy's probably not cool. That guy's probably nuts.
I mean, you can always double check it with some
Hey, is
mutuals.
Crazy Alex cool? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I got a feeling in my stomach from this.
Ever since he's been out on probation, he's been fine. Well, anyway.
Well, that's good to hear.
Also,
particularly for Americans, drink responsibly, especially if you're driving. They get to drink. They get to drink
at 21.
At 21, but they don't drink at 21. They drink whenever they get the drinks.
Yep. Yeah. You get
Which college has much of the drinks around.
You get to serve a whole lot earlier than that.
Yeah. Drink responsibly. Don't drive. If you drink and drive and die, no one will ever have any sympathy for you at all.
I suppose there's that. Yeah, Shinra Beastcast. Agami wants to know if he should play FF7 Remake before. Because, yeah, we talked about this already.
This was like half the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So,
good question.
Yes.
Clearly.
Dear Apartment with 2.5 Nerds, Anthem was going to be called Beyond, but they couldn't get the copyright.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is about to remake its 7th entry, which takes place in a cyberpunk city. And to be honest, there's... cyberpunk is the wrong word to describe that, sir.
Diesel punk. We just described this.
And to be honest, there's not a whole lot of fighting in the streets for a franchise that should be called World Warrior. What are some games that you feel are wrongly named or should be called something else, or we're going to? Do you have or like the alternative?
Biohazard is a better title than Resident Evil. Period. But they couldn't get the rights to Biohazard in the West, so Resident Evil.
Legend of the Hungry Wolf is a way better title than Fatal Fury.
Yeah, but it doesn't have an alliteration in it.
And then Wolf Densetsu, as they go on and go on and go on, is way better than Fatal Fury. Also doesn't get confused with FF.
Yeah.
And then the other FF.
And then, is there another one?
Yeah, there's another FF. There's FF, 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 and FF.
Yeah. I like FF and FF, but I don't know about the other FFs.
You don't even know which ones, do you?
No.
Okay.
It's Fatal Fury, Final Fantasy, Fighting Force, and I got the fourth
Final
one.
Fight.
Oh, Jesus. I remember Fighting Force, but not Final Fight. Fuck
yeah, that's
me.
weird. That's super weird that you went there.
Yeah, well.
Yep. Sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
and Fatal Frame.
What's it called?
Fatal Frame? It's called Fatal Frame.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought you meant for the translation.
No, there's more.
Yeah, that's true.
Fatal Frame's a great name.
That's really bad. That's bad. Okay. There's probably others out there.
Well, the ones that always get me is like, here's an American title, and you're like, oh, what's the Japanese title? And it's like a phrase that sucks.
Last Blade 2.
That's the opposite problem.
The flowing flower.
Yeah.
Drifts gently.
The names of certain Smash Bros. Games are like fucking paragraphs.
As the Bakamatsu comes to an end. You know? Yeah.
Oh. People, thank you guys for reminding me. You know what's a really terrible name for a series compared to its original? Is Yakuza. Because Like a Dragon is awesome.
What if it was called Dragon-like?
That would be terrible.
Yeah. Dairanto Smash Brothers.
X.
Akuma Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dracula's Castle is fine, but Castlevania, ooh, that's good.
It's really good. In fact, it's better.
It's much better.
Vania in our brains in West equals Transylvania.
Equals vampires.
Someone realized that you can take the last half of that word and elicit the same thoughts. So, yeah, I'd go there. And there's probably one or two others out there, but...
Yakuza for girls. I just... Oh,
Why
man.
get Contra when you can get a Probotector? You know?
Jesus Christ.
That's the second time.
You know what cracks me up, though, is that the Probotectors are in Contra 4 as unlockables. Like, they went that far. That game's amazing.
Persona 4... Arena... No, Ultimax...
The Ultra Suplex Hold.
The Ultra Suplex Hold.
Ultra Suplex Hold is better.
Yeah. Because P4A is P4U.
Yeah.
And P4U is P4U2.
Yeah.
So, you know. Anyway. All right. And let's say we take one from... Ben says, Dear Castle Super Beast, a lot of sequels and remakes being released. Character redesigns have been a part of... they've been on everyone's mind. From minor tweaks like Dalsim's beard, Tifa's FF7 slightly more tasteful design, and the whole cast of MK11 and Samurai Shodown come to mind recently. What's your most notable recent redesign? I don't like Virgil's black coat as much as the blue one.
Me either.
Because Dante still wears red.
Yep. But Nero is the blue one. So you can't have two blue.
That's exactly why they did it.
Absolutely. With Virgil gone, you could have Nero blue.
But now that Virgil's blue, you can't have blue.
Now that Nero's blue, you can't have...
Can't do it.
He's got to be black because he's evil.
Of course.
Let me think. I don't know. I think the FF7 ones are fucking aces. I think they're A+.
I feel like Snake has been redesigned more and more over time.
And he's gotten worse.
I feel like Solid Snake's original form has strayed.
I think Solid Snake from 1 is the best.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They've strayed further and further from Snake's
got the
light.
collar.
Yeah. Yeah, and the headband and everything's just popping.
Yeah.
And then the version that we got later on in every iteration was always
Stupid sexy Snake.
not what I was exactly thinking of. Raiden, on the other hand,
Can only go up.
because what the fuck? He becomes a goddamn ninja.
Yeah,
You
sure
know.
does.
So, yeah, I don't know. I guess Resident Evil, right, has been doing that. New Jill is terrible though.
New Jill is awful.
It's almost
Old
like,
Jill is like the best design they ever did, despite how goofy it looks.
it's like, why would you ditch the beret for blonde hair?
The beret and the dumb shoulder pads are so cute, and they're just like, nah.
I don't like.
Like, and
that.
I have like an absurd weakness to girls with hats, so like whatever.
It's probably the worst new change.
It's bad.
Over
It's really bad.
I'd be so mad. I was mad.
Yeah,
I played 5. I was mad.
You got to Jill, and you're like, and especially lame because she starts with the cool bird look, like evil cloaked bird person, and then it's like, oh, cat suit with blonde hair.
Yeah.
All right.
Link, on the other hand, I like where that goes.
Yeah, I think Link's blue look is. I'd never want to go back to green tunic.
Yeah. It's we're firmly in the blue and brown
Yeah.
era, which, you know, Wind Waker, so
Yeah.
it's not out of nowhere.
Man, people are thirsty for dry ass Ganon, huh?
You gotta just add water. Just add
Nintendo
water.
keeps trying to make it so you can't make it hot, and the internet's like, nah, man.
Shirtless. It's a piece of fucking cave art, and people have gone ham with their elaborate shirtless, long-haired Ganon designs. It's fucking cave art, y'all.
And it's or like a shriveled up mummy.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll figure it out. Jerky Ganon.
Yeah.
Jerk Blight Ganon.
Hey, Jerk Blight, you want to get over here and get some jerk?
All right.
All right, podcast over now.
That's a good one.
You should probably go check out FS7 if you haven't. It's a good game.
You should probably go check out Chrono Trigger if you haven't. It's a very good game. In
These are
fact,
both good games.
a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgot about the basement. Whoops.
We forgot about the basement.
We'll do it next week.
We'll do it next week.
With more context,
with
even.
better context.
Yeah.
Basement next week, we promise.
Oh, we forgot.
Sorry.
Okay, bye.
Bye.